Greetings, family. Welcome to a fascinating page of magnets, crystals, and pyramids. Uncle Hinky here, getting ready to share with you a fascinating evening with world famous Brother Panic, who's going to give us some amazing insights and information. So, whenever you're listening, those who are listening, please put in the comments what part of the world you are listening, whether it's Chicago, Philadelphia, Baltimore, LA, South Africa, Europe, South Pacific, Australia. I've seen people from everywhere putting in where they're listening from because we are acting local and thinking global. So let us begin with our opening of Brother Baraka by way of Harlem in the summertime.
Putting out a call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. Success is your destiny. Yes. Love, wisdom, power. Remember, always who you are. Yes. Yes. I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes. Yes. I am. Love, yes. Power. Yes. I am. Yes, I am love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am love, wisdom, power. Master. Yes, I am. Yes, love, wisdom, power. Yes, I am. Say yes, to yourself. Yes, I am protected. Yes, yes, I am. Master. I am. Yes. Okay, here we go. Welcome. And together we're going to take hold of your crystals, family. Make sure you have your water. As my folks used to say before we took a long trip, anybody got to go to the bathroom, go now. So go now to the bathroom. If not, hold it off. Hold your crystal. Have your water ready because your chakras are going to speed up with the message that Brother Panic is going to drop on us tonight. So we say, I am in me. I am in you, the listening audience, now and in the future. We individually and collectively realize we are the ocean of divinity throughout eternity, even if we have amnesia to our previous activities. So I like to say, yes, I am forgiving all souls in past lives. And yes, I ask all souls in past lives to please forgive me. Yes, I am forgiving all ignorant souls in this life. And I ask that all souls in this life please forgive me when I've been ignorant. And with that being said, in the name of love, I call upon our ascended master ancestors, the latest Christ born in the Congo, Simeon Toko, We call forth an army of black angels, muscle bound, bulletproof, that chased the Belgians out of the Congo, flew through the air. Welcome, and we invite you to be on the platform, guide our words, knowledge, and enlightenment, and to have help us remember who we are, Simeon Toko. I also ask the presence of Sheikh Amadou Bamba to be on the platform tonight. Ascended Master Sheikh Amadou Bamba, thank you for your representation and your elevation, founding the city of Touba in Senegal. Sheikh Ibrahim, want to also invite onto the platform my big brothers, Nikolai Tesla, who shares the ancient Kemetic, ancient Atlantean science of free energy, electricity, and weaponry. Be with us. Gatekeeper of Mount Shasta in Northern California, Ascended Master Saint Germain, be with us. Yeshua, Black Madonna, Mother Mary, Arset, Heteru, Asar, who lives inside my favorite tree, the acacia tree. Welcome. We invite you in. Inviting in Nat Turner, John Brown, Chief Osceola, Chief Geronimo, be with us. Chief Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, Chief Seattle, be with us. Mary McLeod Bethune, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, join us. Shroom Master Dr. Sabi, Shroom Master Dr. George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington, Shroom Master Kalindi Aye. We invite you to be on the show. Special acknowledgement to PB Randolph. We ask that you be on the show tonight. Also, we ask Fabre d'Olivier to be with us tonight on this show. The acts of presence of the Buddhas, the Krishnas, Quetzalcoatl, White Buffalo Calf Woman, the shaman warriors throughout the world, South African Zulu shaman, Credo Mutwa. We ask that you join us today. The presence of Elegba, Oshun, goddess of love, known by many names, be with us. Yemaya, Oya, Ologun, Shango, Ogun, Obatala, Ochosi, be with us as the forces of nature that lives within us. We ask the presence of all ascended masters in the earth's hollow, and we call on the ascended masters from the Sirius star system, the Orion star system, the Dogon star system, to take dominion over the cross-eyed school bus world leaders, known and unknown, human and non-human, so that we can make this beautiful spaceship planet Earth a joyful ride and glide in the stream of harmony, and so we can fulfill our divine destiny. We ask that Archangel Michael protect our family, friends, and loved ones near and far. Angel of healing, Archangel Raphael, be with us. Angel of strength, Archangel Gabriel. Archangel of knowledge and enlightenment, Archangel Uriel, be with us. And we say, Ashe, Aho, Donada, Wado, Mahalo, Amen, Amen. And so it is. Here we go. All right, so let me fade to the back and bring up the beautiful goddess, Shakti goddesses and Brother Panic. These are the goddesses who will sit in the background and bring bliss, silent bliss in the stream as Brother Panic is surrounded by the Shakti energy. Let me make sure he's positioned right. We also have some more Shakti healing sisters present. One is right now, I guess she's putting makeup. Get closer, get closer. You got to show your beautiful stream, sister. You got to radiate, let your chocolate. We see more of the background. Come up a little closer, baby. Come up a little closer. You got to pull your chair up a little bit. Zima, you're looking good. Salika, you're looking good. Khadija, you're looking good. I just want to say again, Brother Panic, family. Let me tell you. You know what? I'm going to say why I invite Brother Panic to an open VIP access to this channel, he's very much saying in a different style, tempo, rhythm that you are gods. Gods that have forgotten that you're gods. And what's worse than a God that forgot that God was a God? And that's what we are. And that's what Brother Panic in his, his style, his demeanor, he's teaching in his unique style. So it's always an honor to have him on. But I just want to share real quick before we start, because family, here's going to be a Q&A, but Brother Panic can roll. He's a natural griot. This is something Brother Panic and the Shakti sisters, I want to thank our sister Leo Zima for turning me on to. This something called Himalaya Shilajit. Now, when Zima told me about this, Panic, Salika, Khadija, she was like, I took a little bit of this and I was like on jet fuel all day. I was like, yeah, right. Well, anyway, I ordered what she told me. It came with a little metal spoon and it's like a tar consistency. Yo, the energy is crazy, crazy. So I be taking my tea and eating the shilajit and it looks like tar. I just want to show you real quick. And I gotta like ream it out. It's almost like tar, and it tastes kind of rough. So if you can do it, do it because it's highly nutritious to the body. All right.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want to thank you, Sister Zima, for this because I got it right here, and I'm still working a spoonful, trying to get that last little bit off because it's thick as tar. But the nutritional benefits, I can feel that like crazy. So tonight, let me bring up the menu. Tonight's show, family, some of the information, the tribe of Brother Panic. Y'all may have heard this before, but this is what's happening tonight. What is occult science? That's the name of the program tonight. And I don't have a question list, and that's okay because we're going to free flow. And when Panic, you ready for me to throw the music on? I'm ready to throw it on, bro. So you got the bike, man.
All right, I want you to. We're going to start off with a song. This song is on the Elements 2. Is a song I produced with B.O.B. He just did a project called the Elements 1, Earth, Air, Water, and Fire. That's phenomenal. If you haven't heard that, you are absolutely late. So we have been working on the Elements 2, and this one is called Antimatter, the album. So this is one of the songs that I did from Antimatter. That's out now. You could get it on SoundCloud. And look for the other albums we're still working on. We're going to do a foursome for Elements 2. So we're working on the second portion of Elements 2. And this is from the first album, Antimatter, and Elements 2 by B.O.B. Let the song go, brother.
Grand Rising, Bob. Today we are wrapped in black. Your kufis and vegetables are irrelevant here. Come, join us on the Elements 2. My name is Brother Panic, and I bring you a message straight from the ether. B.O.B., it is time to put in that work. Get your nasty, grimy, stinky, funky asses off the wall.
I gotta watch my back while I'm wrapped in black. I'm even rapping while black, as a matter of fact. Look, wrapped in bad credit and traffic citations. Couldn't get a loan to meet the qualifications. Car pull you over, might ruin your night. But if you car pull me over, might be my last night. First lesson learned while I'm wrapped in black. It never tell you niggas that the earth is flat. Wrapped in a world that doesn't benefit me. Wrapped in the color they act like they don't see. jails be filled to the brim with niggas. How many record labels be investing in prisons? Tell rappers flashing guns in their videos. But when you do it, they gon' hit you with the RICO. They forgiving student loan shit, I might go to school again. Tell me, they got forgiveness checks for being a hooligan? Wrapped in oppression genetically. Wrapped in a hypocritical family tree. When they found out you was gay, they threw the Bible at you, but they turned their cheeks when your uncle touched his niece. So am I Malcolm in the middle or just Malcolm Little? I got an X on my back, I'm a walking sigil. Program subliminals from aboriginal to criminal. I'm talking sergeant to inferior. I paint the picture clear enough. Motherfucker.
Well done, B.O.B. You sound woke. Riding the elemental crossroads back to the one. Just niggering about the town, looking for conscious conundrums. Things are going well in the whole techosphere, I see. Although CMOS is not the key to enlightenment. B.O.B., it is now time to do the alchemy again, brother. Listen up, bitches.
Hey, ancient world builder, I changed the factory settings on all of you niggas. Show me something that we didn't invent. And all you really said is that it doesn't exist. When I built the pyramids, I was wearing some black forces. Finished it that morning and got hair from mad shorties. Fast forward, it's 2022, long after the British raided my tombs and consumed the corpses. Now I'm in Georgia. From papyrus to recordings. Another art form gets extorted. Yeah, I passed 40s as a child cause my mind was past 40. I'm talking black Air Force One energy. The type of shit Hillary Clinton to be. Avatar, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z. Same story, different name. All I see is me, I'll fuck around, part the Red Sea, then charge it for a lineup just to get a fee. Nigga, I'm nice. I'm like Tyson. I'm Jordan on the ice or the grass or the sea. I'm Boomaye Ali. I'm really him, call me Hemi Hendrix. Cause see me, I had to earn that. And I can't really fuck with you, dog, until you learn that. It's how I walk into a room. It's how we dance, how we fuck, how we season our food. You foolish mule. Panrific, Bobby Band's elements too.
Listen
That's
up,
it.
bitches.
There we go.
All right, and I want to start by just giving a special thank you to Khadija, Zima, Salika for holding Shakti's space. And if y'all got to go drink some water and moisten your face, we ain't gonna be mad at you. And Panic, you got front and center, brother. How you want to do this?
All right. Ain't nothing like moistening your face.
So yeah, let me show you the moist faces of beautiful Leo. By way
Moist.
of, I think Georgia, am I right? Yep.
Oh yeah, moist.
And then we got a moist, beautiful face by way of upstate New York, Cancerian, Salika.
Moist.
And we got a beautiful Sagittarian, cute, moist face, Khadija. I wanna thank you.
Moist.
Yes, moist and beautiful. Spring is sprung already up in here, up in here.
Osiris approved. Osiris approved.
Yeah. So
Yes, thank you, ladies, for coming and staying and adding beauty to what otherwise would be a quite ugly yelling, a quite ugly rant without you guys. But thank you for being here.
yeah. So
Thank you.
all right,
All
Patty.
right. So we're gonna get into some of the basics,
Yeah.
because if you have this string and you're able to pull it, all the shit that's in the Hoteposphere would seem to come together if you had this one little understanding. And I've always seen this as so easy, simple, but clever, if you understand.
Mm,
So the first thing we're going to deal with is the word occult
yeah.
in its definition. So it's fake meaning, or it's hype meaning or its media created meaning has everything to do with the devil and evil. That is probably the furthest thing I can think of. The devil and evil together is actually the furthest thing I could think of, but I get why after years and years of seeing the devil, good, bad, and religion, you think it's a reality. It's not a reality. The devil is a part of the occult understanding. Evil is not. Evil is a human behavior. Occult, the word itself means hidden culture. Hidden culture. So that means there's the system that you can't see. The system that you cannot see, that you cannot touch tangibly, is under the umbrella of the occult. So that encompasses a lot of shit more than just the devil and evil and Baphomet. Let's even take what you eat. You may eat something tangible that's physical, but you expect the nutritional value of it, the benefit from it, like that tar, to do something that's invisible, which is occult. So it's just that simple and just that clever. And we're going to get all in between that meat and see what's really on the bone today. You understand? So right. Hidden culture. Another code word for hidden culture, which also makes it seem as if you're doing good and evil, is called dark side. And people have made the dark side a religion. That's poppycock, folly. The occult is not a religion. The occult is not you do what you do and then maybe you do the occult. Every single fucking thing you do is the occult. You just may not be aware of it. Metaphysics means beyond the physical. Metaphysics is a description of the occult. As you are able to identify something that's physical and something that's not so physical. It's just that metaphysics doesn't have a bad name. The occult is dealing with that which is physical, which brings forth its twin, the dark side, the hidden, or the non-physical. We called it Ka. You say it wasn't in Egypt? That's all Egypt was about. What was your spirit double called?
Is it Ba?
Your Ka. Your soul, Ba. Your spirit double or Ka is your dark side. It's that other invisible half of you. Practically, what do we call it? We call it your don't get on my bad side. We say it all the time. Your bad side or your hidden side is the occult aspect of you. But happiness is also the occult aspect of you. You may be at your 9-to-5 job and you're not happy like you're on a picnic. So where's the happy person from the picnic at when you're on the time clock? It's hidden in you. And that's the occult. The ability to understand these hidden aspects of you, negative or positive, which is where you get the good or bad thing from, or where good and bad comes from. But negative and positive for us is low and high energy. Not slapping somebody in the middle of the street or taking someone's groceries. That's bad on a whole different human level. We're talking about things you talk to yourself negatively about is bad when we're concerned with occult work, hidden work. When you're dealing with occult work, you're trying to deal with that part of you that is unseen, that is out of control because you don't have an understanding or a look into your dark side. The occult is the work to look into that hidden part of your dark side, to not only control it, to understand the full self. Know thyself just doesn't mean understand you're a Sagittarius. That's not a cult. That's defining something that we know. That's defining something that we know. That's not occult work. Occult work is trying to find out that which we don't know. The Egyptians called this entire work the work of the what? Mystery system. If you know that you're a Sagittarius or a Leo, it's no mystery. Therefore, not a part of the mystery system. It was how to define your humanity. But there's a dark side to all of these things. That's where you get polarity from. They talk about there's two sides to every coin. The occult talks about the coin, the part of the coin in yourself that you cannot see. The hidden aspect of yourself. I started to tell you before on the show how once we're little, as a child, we grow, and as we start learning about life, it's ups, downs, disappointments, those fears put upon you through religion, through through religion, through movies, television. You have to, you start to emotionally feel that you need a protective aspect of yourself. The fear of the world creates what you call a hidden protector. Because we grow up in such hostile, and this happens across the board for everyone. Usually, the ones in the most hostile environment, what up, gas drawers? The one in the most hostile environment comes up with the most hostile dark side niggas. That's why you can see all of these inmates who did murder, and when they speak to the sweetest guys in the world, they'll say things like, you know, if I would have thought before my actions and it took one moment and one moment took 25 years and I couldn't see, it was like I was looking out someone else's eyes and blah, 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 bling. This is a person who did not have control of his dark side. While you think the true attack is what they're doing on the police in Facebook and beating your ass, the true attack is how they got you is if they create a monster in your dark side that you cannot see and don't even know exists to control because you've been told not to look at your dark side, to look towards the light all the time. Light doesn't come from light. Out of darkness comes light. You must take that inner journey into the darkness, which is the occult, to find the true light. What you know on the surface, you'll never learn from because your ego will shift in shape and tell you it's okay. Where your ego does not work is in that part of you when you drink liquor and they go, God damn, motherfucker, who was you? Well, that person, and they also have told you this, the liquor didn't make you do it. The liquor just stopped your inhibitions. Your inhibitions and morality is made up and it's the light side. The true you comes out. The freak comes out at night. You understand?
This killer.
Is the reality of you. And the occult science is to try to understand what the fuck that is before you end up dead in jail and all the other things that we are manipulated by through fear, through our invisible, hidden self. The occult is to understand and see and walk into that dark side. Nothing evil, nothing. Satan is just a symbol of that. The fallen one. Satan was in glory in the light. But he's trying to tell you when he fell to darkness, he fell in polarity. And that polarity became between him and Christ. All of this is your story. You fell down here in a human body and created polarity. Any kid you got, my granddaughter does it all the time. She's full of hugs and kisses and smacks and ass kicks at the same time. She'll smack the shit out of me one moment, then be kissing me the next moment. They don't know how to handle both worlds. See, what we do, because we come in polarity, we start teaching the kid manners. Don't do that. Don't hit grandpa. Stand up straight. Close your legs. Don't do that. A lady doesn't do that. So what we're really doing is pushing the dark side of them and not dealing with it underneath. So by the time they start growing and getting more and more disappointment, the dark side is getting stronger, madder. It just knows not to smack grandpa no more. But then it's waiting to do all the dumb shit it does on the street. It's building up. And then it starts to learn more and more and gets out. Something you find out he's out in the street, breaking people's windows, fucking with cars, doing all sorts of shit, because it's that dark side that's not being addressed. Everyone's trying to be light and save the kids and work with the babies, but they're not working with the part. They're ignoring a certain part. Bobby Hemmett was the first to start giving you attention to that part. That part is symbolized by Satan and symbolized by bad for the very reasons I said now. It's not bad or good. Your granddaughter's not bad or good. There's two sides to all of us, and most of it gets suppressed and built up and unaddressed and comes out as bad, or i.e. Satan. That's why it has the bad name, the dark side. And because it's hidden in the dark side, it represents the feminine. The feminine is the negative polarity. The feminine pulls in. It's the hidden. That's where your birth is, in the dark side, 3 trimesters, triple stage darkness. Men are giving out, penis is out. So it represents polarity, i.e. they made Christianity the man, the good one, and Jesus, and Eve, the evil one. Ain't got nothing to do with good or evil, bad or good. It has everything to do with polarity. So they're giving the woman a bad name because she's the hidden. It has nothing to do with it. That's why they able to make you, and we feel it, and so, or able to be convinced by it, by making these women, these vixens, these things, because we don't understand the dark nature of us. It's nothing to be feared. It's something to, you have to understand the balance of it. The occult science is balancing out both sides of you. Oh, you're going to get this shit today. Everything leads into the occult. Everything has a dark side. Everything has duality. And if you don't deal with the duality, you're dealing with half the story. You don't believe me? Look to all the Egyptian ass that you're kissing. Go look what they say about polarity. They said you cannot have one without the other. Occult science is how you deal with the other that has been desperately ignored in Black people. Desperately ignored. Trying to be so sweet. All from the heart and beautiful. It's bullshit and it's an act. Because we get consultations around the world all the time. And what they don't do, my mama did this, my papa did this. That's the dark side. That's the entity that it created. I told you. That's why you all have different names. Because you named those invisible entities. And you're so busy trying to wear it, but you wear it in a performance that was based upon community and morality. You're not wearing it on a performance based upon balance. I know this. I'm not guessing. This I know. Hidden culture. That means there's a whole system. Behavioral analysis, occult science. Psychiatry, occult science. Any of that shit you name is occult science, but we're looking at one side of the coin mostly because we're trying to think, or we think we're trying to be good people. But everyone's still talking about each other. Everyone still hate each other. Everyone still has attitudes with each other because none of that's being addressed. Nobody's able to be real. Everyone's coarse. Everyone doesn't trust each other. Those things are on the occult side of the world, the occult side of the thing. And while you ain't doing it, everyone who you call your enemy is doing it. Is doing it. You act like you better than something, you're not. This is who and what you are as a holistic being. As a holistic being. And you dealing half the goddamn story trying to just wear a fucking ankh and some crystals. It's not enough. You can't have a crystal without having obsidian, right, Uncle Hank?
That's right, man. Obsidian takes you to the dark side.
Because even in that world, it's trying to tell you, you gotta hear this too. You can't just ignore that part of you, that voice in your head that's going, man, fuck this bitch. Oh, hold that, beloved. Oh, I hate this bitch. Hold that. You can't ignore that voice. The more you ignore that voice, it needs to be heard in some sort of action, in some sort of way. The ones out of control are doing murder bids. The ones not, nobody really like you. Or you just really making the excuse. My family, they don't understand. No, they didn't like your ass. Come on. They didn't like your ass. And you know it and I know it. But they don't understand. No. They understand you. They understand. My sister put me up on that shit. She said, nigga, after all this time, you ain't changed. And she showed me it. She got me, because she knows the methods from when I was little. Got my ass angry. And I said, bitch, I get it. I get it. If you're not dealing with that aspect, it's a waste of time, all of this dress up you playing. You playing dress up till you get tired of it or till you get a job that's better than this. I promise that. It's an inner work. What do you think you're doing when you close your eyes to meditate? Going towards the light? You're going in the darkness. That's the point. At the very basis of what you do is occult. We're just ignorant of it because we categorize all of these things as religions in our mind, so we think it's a religion, when the occult is actually a description of all of this shit that you do. But if you know what you're doing and get right to it, you'll probably just call it the occult and stop touching shit and get to it. Get to the work that's inner. Close your eyes and say, listen, you gotta understand, you are a devil and you are an angel in the flesh. That's the polarity of you. That's why you have an angel and the devil on your shoulder in all of these things. That's the fight that you're having between Horus and Set, Jesus and the devil. A fight between polarity in you. A polarity in you. You have to balance it out. You have to come to terms with your abuse. You have to come to terms with the neglect that you had, the disappointment that you had, because it all works towards a dark character in you that you must face and let go. You must say, I am hurt. This did hurt. That did happen. And I'm not over it. But I'm here to let it go. I'm here to forgive. I'm here to first find compassion, then forgive, then forget. First myself. This is chakra work. First myself for what I deem as shortcomings. What I deem is what I let myself down. Then my mother for only having me at age 18. I forgive her for not doing that or for doing that. And it's a long path to doing it. You'll find you'll be sitting there cursing that motherfucking father. Then you catch yourself and then you allowed to see what you're still actually angry at. But only if you're looking in that direction. If you're looking towards the light all the time, trying to be a blessed beloved, you're turning away from the work. That's why I have very little respect for that bullshit. All this peace, love, and light shit. All of this beloved shit. The more you do that, the more you show me you haven't done work. The more you do work, you ain't got no time for that shit. You should be too busy finding about yourself instead of finding out what's popping in the black community. Too busy finding out with yourself to do hand gestures. You probably won't even dress up any fucking more. Because you'll start to find, God damn, wow, I always did do that. And you'll find something so shocking about your goddamn self. And 1 second, turning this shit off is distracting. You'll find out things so shocking about yourself that you couldn't see. Your interactions with people, why people look at you and treat you a certain way. You'll be able to see clearly your behavior. Like when they say your life flashes before you, you'll see a whole different culture or a whole different reality of your life. Not the shit you want to see. Well, I was always a good person. I always shared my penny candies. And then when I grew up, if I had $1, a nigga could get 50 cents. Everybody says that kind of shit. But then you'll start to see the wake of friends you left behind with some bullshit. And you'll be like, wow, it's what I created because of my hurt was a whole personality or character, either based in anger, all based in fear, but reaction, I should say reaction in anger, reaction in depression, reaction in low self-esteem, a reaction in over aggressive controlling behavior, all of those negative traits that we say we run into with other people. And if we really pay attention, other people treat us like we have. You begin to look at those and examine their origin, because that is you too. And I think on every temple, they had the words, if you want to know where this Egyptian idea comes from, know thyself. This is you. This is all you. Along with your hidden self, your doppelganger, your spirit double, your twin, your ka. There's many names for this. When you come faced with the dark version of you, Superman in the dark, he had a dark Superman that he was fighting. They do that shit all the time. That's what DC is about. DC is the dark version of Marvel. So while you ain't thinking about it, everyone else is. Batman, the Dark Knight. He's Bruce Wayne by day, but at night he becomes someone else. This combat with this compulsion to do a certain work. How did it happen? Because of trauma. They're telling you what's up all the time. His parents get shot in front of him. He becomes the Dark Knight. And then Superman, of course, is the Haru savior aspect of it, the Christ aspect of this bullshit mythology. And you are absolutely the Christ, but you must defeat the dark side yourself. So defeating the dark side is coming face to face with how most of it was created, through fear. You created a hidden personality through fear. You the tough guy you had to be. You was in the ghetto. You had to be. You have to deal with that person. You have to deal with that reality, and that's basis for the occult. Now we're going to get in questions that will expand on that basis. That's the basis. There's a light side of you that most of us carry up front based upon morality and social behavior. Then there's the real side of us, though. Oh, here come this bitch again. You got to deal with the here come this bitch again, here come this nigga again aspect of yourself, to be able to let it go. And it's really more about understanding why you created that guy in the first place. That guy is absolutely there to help you survive and is a part of your ego. So it can't be ignored if you're really doing the work. So for years, I said, you got to do the work. You got to do the work. That's the work. You have to close your eyes and try to go into your darkness, to try to find self-realizations that you can't see. You also would have to listen to your significant other. That's really your clue. Because the argument they keep having with you is because they can see a dark side. Usually with our significant other is when they're going to touch us and start dealing with our fears. So everything's going to come out. Your fear of change, your fear of this, your fear of blah, and your fear of bling. Because so when they start arguing, you don't listen, you don't do this, you don't do that. I'm listening to you now, bitch, and all the rest of that crap. You got to really start taking that to heart, which is hard. Remember, you created this personality to protect you, this dark hidden side personality that you really don't see, to protect you because of fear. So when someone is questioning you or questioning your fear, you're going to defend it. Whenever you're arguing, especially with a significant other, you're defending something. Any argument, you have the ability to go, you know something, you're right, who cares? But 9 times out of 10, we don't, because we're trying to hold on to something out of fear. Those are the moments you need to look at.
Oh, Panic. That's tight, man. Because I'm just going to show you, family. We see less than 0.003 of the full light spectrum,
Thank you. Well said.
and the rest of it, as Brother Panic said, is dark matter, dark energy. It's the dark side that is the real reality in
Right. There you
in
go.
life. What you see is a minuscule amount of fakeness.
Right. This light here that we see that you're showing is actually called a light prism, where you get the word prison. This is just this light spectrum is just in the prison with us. We can see 363 degrees of light with our pineal gland. That's what the third eye is. Your third eye looks inwardly at your heart. It sees inner light, and those inner lights can be channeled out of this spectrum. And that's what spiritual work is. That's what the dark side work is. The devil is a symbol of the dark side and a symbol in mythology that the Christians have taken over and made you understand it to represent good and evil in the classic sense. So anyone who says Satan, the devil, or Baphomet are just hands down evil, no matter how beloved you fucking become, is still evil and good because you're still a fucking Christian. But it's a symbol of that which is hidden, that which is either hidden in you, hidden in the light spectrum, and it's symbolically called the dark side. But even better yet, what Uncle Hank just described about this light, doesn't it sound more like a hidden culture or a cult? Duh. That's what it is. Nothing special, nothing magical. You have a bunch of niggas yelling, dark side, nigga, dark side. We the dark side. I'm a dark side, nigga. That is fucking stupid. Stupid. Because it's not a religion. The dark side is actually our prison from here. So what is formerly in the dark is actually the light that we're actually going to. So what we can't see here because of our humanity is actually the true world. They call it Sirius, or the world to come, Sirius B. We are in Sirius A, which only can deal with this amount of light spectrum. Sirius B can deal with the other. So that other light has to be assumed from a quantum reality. Therefore, a transformation through death, which I've talked about and had plenty of lectures on. So the dark side is really you trying to tap in to these particular light rays, which you can. Gamma rays, infrared rays on this spectrum here can be tapped in through your eyes. That's in cyclomancy, which I will be teaching in this class coming up in a few weeks or so. So get ready to get your ass in class. It'll be a Saturday and a Sunday class for each class. So I'm gonna go through these motherfuckers, and I'll show you how to shoot ultraviolet and no, not gamma, ultra and infrared lighting through the eyes. Infrared, if you want to affect someone in the room, ultra no, I'm sorry, not ultraviolet, radio waves. Radio, and it's on that list. How to shoot radio waves and connect to anybody, anywhere, anytime with your mind. So that's dark side work. You're just really dealing with the light. You can anything that's not tangible. So
Yeah, let me go get some water because
okay,
this is good.
okay,
Also, family, I want you to give a like because I don't know why y'all stingy on the likes. You know, definitely give a like to what Brothers Panic is freely sharing. And if you're liking the energy that the Shakti sisters is blessing you with, push the like button. All right, let me get me
yeah,
some water too, man. I'm thirsty.
yeah. We get some water and get it back on.
Shit.
So let me get back to my page. All right, so when people come to me and they speak this love and light and peace and blessings and this and that, you can't be 100%, but 9 times out of 10, I know who I'm dealing with already. I'm dealing with someone who's socially adept, hair looks beautiful, wonderful earrings and jewelry, heads wrapped, and they're in all sorts of garb which they think looks Egyptian enough for them. But the inner work, which is the true work, hasn't been touched. They're usually more interested in the physical presentation. Because the inner work hasn't been touched, what you'll see is their hair will change, their outfit will change, their movements will change, their language will change, but nothing has changed in their heart. And really, the what we need to understand in the best case scenario, we create a dark side because there's always something we'll be feared of. But we are in a absolute genocidal living condition. So the dark sides that we create become hazardous to our health. Loving hip hop, housewives of Atlanta, you get what I'm saying? Shows you money ain't got nothing to do with it, and class ain't got nothing to do with it because they have no guidance and are just created animals through their dark side. That's the war against you. The war against you is a cult. They show you shit on YouTube and on Facebook about police beatings to get you physically involved. But what does it do psychologically? Psychologically is the dark side. That word is a cult. Anything psychological to your psyche is the occult. Period. It's not a bad thing. It's code words that they use throughout society to show that they're fucking with you. They're fucking with the dark side to control you. It's all the time. We can't control ourselves. How many times you going in the doctor's office to see some black woman going crazy in that motherfucker? $3? $3? Fuck you mean $3?
McDonald's.
How many times you seen that shit? And you sitting there like, this bitch going crazy for $3. What makes them go crazy? What is that? And then they normalize this behavior. Then they want to sit next to you. Shit, you see all the time you come in, you sitting there like looking straight ahead, like bitch, I want to give you the $3 so you can shut the fuck up. That craziness, or what we call craziness, is the occult unanswered. We had it answered. We had it answered. We dealt with both sides. We know what we also call it? Your fucking spirit. We make excuses for it all day. Well, you know that person's spirit. You know, and then he's a fucking Sagittarius. He's a fucking Libra, so he does that. That's all invented excuses for people who either don't know anymore or refuse to address that which they know they can't control. They don't know how to do it or too scared to do it. Most of this personality, again, was created through fear under these circumstances. Therefore, we have to face our fears. That's what it means when they say you must face your demons. These are your demons. And it's still recognized as genius because these demons were created to protect you. If I was in the ghetto, I ain't walking around with my name Simon. You goddamn right. If my mom's name me Simon, I'm naming myself Panic before I walk out the door. You understand what I'm saying? And I mean for people to get it. Hi, my name was Panic. Never said, what up, son? My name Panic. Always. Because I'm in a hostile environment. And when the pressure's on, I better do some panic shit, else I won't survive. That's a whole character being made. But when I go home to my mother, I ain't no fucking, I don't go, what up, mom? My name Panic. Hey, mommy, could you make me a turkey burger? Thank you. In the street, yo, you know what I'm saying? We need to do what we need to do. Something on all that hip hop shit. That's an act. It's two different people. It's a whole hidden reality that you have. All y'all niggas go home and take all that shit off, I bet. Hi, mommy, I'm home. Ain't no hi, mother. Hi, beloved. Peace out of Brudagani, mommy. No, you tell them Christians what they want to hear when you get home. Two different personalities. These are your hidden selves. Some benefit you because I'm sure when you get to your job, you ain't wearing all that shit. You and that motherfucker in your goddamn scrubs or whatever the fuck you do, or that goddamn or that blue Walmart vest, whatever it is you do. But then when you come home, you let your hair down and do what you do. So the way you go through personalities are natural because we need different personalities. There's you on a picnic. There's you with a boyfriend. There's you at work. There's you as a mother. There's you as a daughter, as a granddaughter, as a niece. There's you in all of these modes. But then there's you that you can't control, that all your friends go, oh, you don't talk about that shit. Not in front of not in front of Zima. Don't talk about that shit. Not in front of Khadijah. Oh, yo, no. You know we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Hank gonna lose his mind. And your friends will talk like that about you. Why? What did they do? What does that mean? That means there is a absolute entity that they feel you can't control. And what they're talking about is not triggering that entity. What you do as an occultist is understand that and let that entity go because it's not benefiting you positively. It's your hood self. It's why you're ghetto. It's why no matter how much money them bitches got on Hollywood Housewives, they act like dogs. That's because that's reality. Not how much money you get. That's your economy. None of that. The reality is the behavior of controlling yourself versus not. 2 minutes in love and hip hop before somebody's throwing a fucking drink in somebody's face. That's shadow work is also called. The shadow work. Exactly. All of these images that you find are talking about what I'm talking about. If you look at it at the surface, you just say, oh, they think man is the devil. But it's not. This eye looks at all the other spectrums that you can't see, but it first must be turned on and activated. All right, let's get to the questions so we can expand.
I like this. I like this. The way you're flowing with this, Pan,
Okay.
because everybody wants to deal with the light side. I think that's one of the reasons cancer is so prevalent in our community, because that's suppressing the urge to knock somebody's lights out. And
right, there you go. And you got to but see, here's the key. You don't go knock somebody's lights out. You have to deal with the urge. And if you could purge yourself of the urge, you've done the work. It's not about knocking someone's lights out and wanting to. It's about finding out why you would want to. Why does it bother you? Who gives a fuck about what someone says or does? Don't interact. It only gets under your skin because it's affecting something in your system of fear. If you don't know it, you don't fear it, you don't worry about it. You won't, if you don't never been, see, there's times niggas who are not from the ghetto would come in the hood over the summer, from down south, and niggas from New York who are more animalistic because of our jungle-like environment, not because we're cool, just because it's more of a jungle environment, so things get sharper, quicker. So while we going to the South is slow, because they're not under such a hostile umbrella as New York was. So when people from the South would come up, New York being funny, some of the people South didn't even know it was jokes. By the end of the summer, they knew because they adapted, but they didn't know at first because there's nothing in their system that feels they have to defend it. So the urge to knock someone out, is what you actually must look at in yourself. It's not about the person. It's not about revenge. It's not about fighting. It's about, why does that offend me? What hurts? That Hank does it and not Zima. Khadijah does it and not Billy. Salika, am I saying it right? Why does Salika, my best friend, but Zima rubs me the wrong way? That's not nothing to do with Zima. It may be in a certain kind of way, but ultimately, usually you make these judgments based upon what you fear and feel comfortable with, and you just think she's just a good. You're looking at all the surface shit, what she's done and her ankh and all of that, but that's the wrong things. If you turn inside, you'll find Zima reminds you of somebody that scares you, pissed you off, and you'll take it all the way back to your stepmother. You'll be like, God damn, I see it. You'll see the string that's hiding in the dark. That when you pull, when you meet Zima, you meet her with more of a pure heart. She doesn't you'll just feel like she's not doing anything because you release that which offended you about her energy, which was just reminding you of your stepmother. You just can't make the connection because you're not looking for the connections. When you do the occult work, you're looking for those connections. Those connections that take you all the way back to the beginning hurts, that walk you to why you don't like this girl today, or why you even like someone today, and find out they're no good for your health, but you like the shit out of them. This puts you in much more control of the hidden aspect of not only your nature, the hidden aspect of those around you that you operate and deal with for a more functional being. All right, let's get down to it.
Yeah, I like this. I'm going to pull from my own experience, family. My dad came from the South, and the family trauma carries from one generation to the next.
Exactly.
And I think one of the things that I would say probably affected me to stages of rage, like that, literally. And that's why I took psychedelics, fam. I'm telling you right now, I said I'm not going to a therapist and be there for years. I'm going to take some psychedelics. And if you really be real with doing psychedelics, whether it's ayahuasca, bufo, it will show you your dark side, what you did fucked up in past lives, what you did in childhood. And I had to come to terms with a part of myself, and I'm gonna put this up here, that I got, it was literally an overwhelming urge. Sometime I remember in teenage years, I would just the rage was so deep, Brother Panic, that I just wanted to kill.
Right.
I wanted to kill. But
and
nobody knew it. So I said, I got to vent this with some martial arts.
Well, let me interrupt for 1 second. That's perfect and right where you're at. When you listen to the highlight of what you just said, I just wanted to kill. And that's where you get the dark side, is the devil, because now people have to deal with the fact that they wanted to kill. All of this loving and hotep and my brother and sister, you have to deal with the fact, I want to kill this nigga. And see, I'm glad you but see, like he said, he channeled that through martial arts. See, if we become aware of it, we can channel those things and become more healthy holistically. We keep ignoring it, thinking the occult is some other shit you got to get into later. You're doing it now. You're doing ritual now if you brush your teeth. Ritual is stereotype. So I'm sorry, Uncle Hank, to cut you off, but I wanted to show the correspondence of where they get when you have to face that I really want to kill a nigga. That's when you get the devil and the dark side put into this, and people get scared because they don't want to face that.
What you just said brought me back to the calmest people I have ever met, family. I'm sharing a personal history. Are people who were killers.
Right.
Because they know what to do.
They know what they came to terms with who and what they are. You can't hide it no more. And so they're usually calm because they act, as ironically as that is, they balance themselves. We all kill if we could get away with it, you know how many motherfuckers we kill for nothing, for cutting you off in line?
Exactly. So
it's your morality that's in your fear of going to jail and the consequence. But what's in your heart? I'll kill that nigga. And nobody wants to do. We all the black community. We all loving each other, and everybody's butt fucking each other with love. And but the reality is that's not true. It's fake.
I worked around organized crime individuals.
Right.
They would talk about how a body would basically break down, bleed out, gases, start shitting on them, and they would laugh about it. But that part of me, that dark side part of me, could relate to them. You get what I mean?
Understand, like when we hear the stereotype of somebody who would think like that, we think they're the most vile thing that's not. But when you're sitting next to them and they're talking, you find they're just like you. The only difference between you and them, they took a leap.
That's right.
On their dark side. Yep. They were in a social system that allowed them to do it, called mafia or gang banging or whatever that is. But they did it, and they can't hide it anymore. You just want to do it, so you're just holding that bait with your fake morality.
Now we're gonna be real. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
It's from this family, and I'm gonna pull this picture back up because I can relate. All of us have this part of us. You don't know anybody. You know their representative.
Right. And there we go. Well said.
And their reason, and I'm gonna tell you from this side, this is why I deal with crystals. For two things. I call it, how do I activate crystals to be healing weapon grade, so that the dark side of me, I can channel it with orgone. Like,
there you go.
And I'm gonna tell you, sisters, brothers are more sensitive than you realize.
Yep.
When y'all cross us with words, you have no idea. That stuff can simmer.
It does.
And crystals, sometimes, that's why we got to work on ourselves. But I don't use crystals, or I use it as a healing weapon grade. In other words, make it healing. But then when there's some bullshit coming my way, there's ways that you can use a crystal. I got them on me. I got crystals all around. These suckers, you can program it so you can reflect and amplify it back to the source with a time limit. I mean, it's a weapon. But in the meantime, Panic, I got so many comments here. Do you want me to have these comments streaming while you're talking, or hold off?
No, because I won't be able to see them. You can put the comments streaming while I'm talking. That doesn't bother me.
And family, in the chat, I've seen one person that had a problem with that. If y'all like to have, because I just like acknowledging while you're saying it. But this is something that we don't deal with in our community, Brother Panic. How do you deal with it?
No. Shit. It's not like I'm guessing. I've been doing this since 2004. I know the problem. I started with this. I didn't get here. I opened the door with occult science under Bobby Hemmett. Period. Mm-hmm. Bobby Hemmett talked about me for years before I talked, a couple of years. And by the time I got on MySpace, they were asking me whether I was the same Bobby Hemmett am I the same Brother Panic that Bobby Hemmett talks about? And then, it went on from there. So I've been talking about this from day one and getting consultations and classes, and about to start a new class for psychomancy. So this is definitely not new hat. Right. I know the exact problem. I like what you said. Most of us see the representation of people. An excellent movie to watch is Revolver with Andre 3000 and the dude who played in Crank, Jason Statmos, whatever. But it's called Revolver, and it's absolutely positively about the ego and the hidden self. And one of the statements through the movie, your greatest enemy is closer than you think. The white man's not your enemy. He's just he just ritualized himself into a symbol of fear for you. And he played into the fear that you will naturally be born with, the fear of what's hidden inside of you. That's your true enemy.
And
Your closest enemy is closer than you think. Your very own ego. It will tell you anything you want to hear to make you feel as if you are succeeding successfully. It's very hard to look beyond your ego, and to start looking beyond your ego, it's a whole work, and you have to start looking within. You first have to understand there's a dual side of you, and if you want a clue, listen to your significant others. That same argument, you never listen, you always do that. You're too bossy, you always bossing me, you always telling me what to do. And you're like, I ain't telling you, you can do whatever you want to do. They're saying it to you, what you are. And if you ain't got a significant other, remember your siblings. They'll tell you the same shit. The shit you have for years and years. If you don't close your fucking eyes and look within, you know why people can't stand your ass. You just gotta admit it. You know what I'm saying? And usually how you defend yourself. And then once you find you have a defensive demeanor about whatever, you have to try to trace it back to where you think it began. You have to be honest with your dysfunction. Was it your mother, father, or their lack of either two? Message. Who was it? What was it? In school, how did they make you feel? Be real. You got to be real with yourself, not what you tell yourself. Yeah, I didn't feel I was that popular in school. I didn't feel I had the girls. I didn't feel I had the this. Feel my titties are crooked. Whatever. You have to be honest with yourself and forgive yourself. Have compassion. You're just a human being. Then forgive yourself for your own shortcomings. Then start to heal yourself. That's all heart chakra work. That's all the attributes of Jesus Christ. Compassion, healing, and forgiving. Christ is in the heart. So to do conscious work or to become the Christ, you got to deal with the devil. You're the devil.
Oh yeah.
You're human. You're in the world of Set, the world of upside down. You're fighting with consciousness as Horus, but what you're doing is pretending to be Horus. What you're doing is performing Horus. You're performing Horus holding on the jury, performing Horus with the dress, performing Horus with the hand gestures, with the greetings. Apodagani, Abalafio, Alafina, Hoteparano, Hoteparino, Spanish. Esta Hoteparina. That's Italian Hotep. You know all the Hoteps, all the greetings, but that's a performance of Haru. The true work is deep and inside and really fighting the devil, which is yourself.
I found, and I'm just sharing from my own experience in living in the city, Brother Panic.
Yes.
Intuition. Got to sharpen the intuition.
Well, the more you go inside, intuition is just your spiritual voice that has atrophied just to intuition. Intuition actually turns into a full-blown conversation, but it can't talk through your dark side. Your dark side won't allow it to talk because it doesn't want to hear that. Understand, your dark side created a protector, and it's sitting like this. It don't want to hear shit spiritual. It don't want to hear nothing. All it wants to hear is a motherfucker say some shit. You know, you shouldn't be wearing that. What you talking about? This is my flyest shit ever. I'm the flyest. Nigga, I'm a New York nigga. What you talking about? How you going? Nigga, you from Atlanta. That's a defensive action right there. And Zima said, yo, I don't understand. Yo, where you get that sweat? What, this is New York, boo. You don't understand that, Zima. Where you from, Atlanta? See, I knew it. See, let me tell you something. This is the hottest shit right now. That's defensive. It sounds like I'm talking shit and over talking you and maybe sounding cuter in the scenario, but it's actually a defensive move. You question me and you really see my insecurity. And that's what I have to deal with. Has nothing to do with you. So most of us have insecurities, and our insecurities are hidden in what we wear, how we talk, and how we move within the community, if that's the subject. But if we go to a workforce, I could show you that too. If we go to goddamn the beach, I could show you the same scenario too. We're only talking about this right now because humanity does this, not just the Black community. This is a human thing, and anyone who seeks to control you doesn't want you in this area because they understand this is the pathway to getting full control of your reality, and as a collective, full control of a collective reality for true change. As an individual, you'll be the bomb, but collectively, the more we do this, that's the reality change that we've been pretending to beg for. So let's get into some questions that expand on it. Starting with Zima.
Peace, peace. This is a beautiful discussion. So I have a comment and I have a question. So, over the last, and this is pertaining to obviously the dark side of the soul that we're not addressing, that is talking about the feminine aspect. So, interestingly enough, the last few years, we've seen a lot of attacks on the rainforest. And what came around was that, the real reason the rainforest is under attack is because it's tangled and it's moist and it's mysterious and it's feminine. And so with that, I just, that brought in a lot of other thoughts, so do you think that because as a collective body, we've suppressed that dark feminine side of us so much that it is attributing to what we see now as, women's trans stuff and women with body issues, women's rights being under attack, and men feeling like they need to be more effeminate in order to fit in and excel in their lives? Like, is this the outward expression of the inner stuff that we're not addressing that is now collectively just running amok right now? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Two things. It's been running amok. And if they ran into a forest full of dicks, they would fucking deal with it. That has nothing to do with masculine or feminine. That has to do with they are here to bleed this planet of resources because they're locusts. So we could get that out the way. Number two, this has always been happening. Niggas been acting like bitches and bitches been acting like niggas way before you was born. What you're seeing now, put everybody on if you don't mind, Hank. It's easy to talk to her. What you're seeing now is just motherfuckers on TV celebrating it more. And when they celebrate it more on TV, the way they're doing is just because the society's coming to an end. Brother Phil Valentine taught on that thoroughly. Once everything turns into this fucking soup that it has, and even if it has, who fucking cares? As long as you getting dick, enjoy yourself. We got to stop worrying about society and what they doing and close your fucking eyes and go within. That's the point of the occult. When you do that, the perspective on all of this shit becomes clear. The answers are in you. How many times have you heard that before? I'm telling you what it is when I'm saying that people tell you that bullshit and then walk away. You have all the answers in you. Salute. And then they fucking leave. I'm telling you what you need to start doing and what the point of finding the answers in you, because all of those things that you said becomes absolutely clear. You see with a clear mind. You only see half the story. Therefore, you have to ask the question, are they doing it because of the woman? No, they doing it because that's what they do. They've been oppressing the woman here because they know the pathway is the divine feminine. So you think men aren't oppressed here? And I don't take anything away from my woman's Holocaust. The niggas are just as fucked up too. Take a tour to jail. So it ain't they killing us because we don't know who us is. As individuals, we have no power. We still speculating on what they do and how they doing it. Fuck them and what they do. If someone's enjoying penises, two guys, who gives a fuck? When's the last time you went up to some lady and said, "What man are you fucking?" She would want to fight. Who the fuck are you talking about? So what do you care what man is fucking what man or what woman's fucking what women? They do anything they do on TV, from Aunt Jemima to black and white. Who wears black and white with cowboys? Ain't nothing changed. It's just now they in a place where this is the exploitation of the day. And then either weak of us or stronger, depending on what you want to look at. I will say this, absolute. Nothing in the spirit world has ever come to me and said anything about homosexuality, because we're not boys or girls. Pussies and vaginas are something of earth. You don't have a pussy or a vagina when you're gone. You're not a boy or a girl. There's the divine feminine and the divine masculine. We are an androgynous being. The divine feminine holds intuition, beauty, creativity, visualization, and all the spiritual things that get on a certain side of us. We are yin-yang beings. While I walk around with a penis, I have a dot of the divine feminine in me and vice versa with you, meaning I can access that divine feminine. There's no patent pending on it. Your next lifetime, you might have a set of stinky, hairy testes that I hope you don't come back next lifetime. So we got to get out of that. Oh, they doing that to us, and they're doing that shit to all of us. But what you need to do for yourself, first and foremost, is weapon up. All the tools you may have don't work if you don't know how to use them. I went to get gun training. I have 4 guns, but then I went to get gun training and it was a different animal. Just because I have guns don't mean I can't get shot first. You have to weaponize yourself to get the answers that you want. Once you become that weapon, once you become empowered, then you get to see power moves. And when you see power moves, you'll see, oh, now I know why they're in the forest. Now I know what power move they making. They fucking with the rainforest. They didn't think about, well, this is the woman. Let's go there. I don't give a fuck. Whatever you got, we take, nigga. When they were slave owners, they fucking raped black men just as much as women. Or damn near as much. Because it's more of a power statement to rape black men. And a control statement. This is about control. So if the rainforests are on the menu, so be it.
You're making me think about our childhood. My pop didn't know it, Panic, but they moved us into a haunted house when we were kids. And in the haunted house, the previous owners, they were into some shit. And I remember one night I came home and I said, okay, I'm studying a little bit about, I remember the book, Creative Visualization and Meditation. I think her name was Shakti Gawain years ago. So I was like, I'm going to clean this basement out. Because Pop let the boys pretty much stay in the basement except the babies. And I started visualizing, and I didn't know much about what I was doing, but I started visualizing cleaning the basement out. And some kind of entity left the basement, went upstairs and attacked my brother. And I remember him screaming in terror. And this is like around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Do you know what my brother does now? He said that was Lulu. Lulu came after me, and my brother been stacking and packing ever since, like getting ready. If Lulu ever come back, I'm going to bust a cap in him that he'll never forget.
Remember that shit from remember that shit
from real shit. This is real talk, man.
No, I believe that. But remember that shit from the Honeymooners when Norton was sleepwalking. Lulu, Lulu. Y'all gotta be OGs to know that shit.
Yeah.
Lulu. Salika remembers that shit. Lulu. Let me tell you, I don't even know where to begin with all that shit. If you want to see his real ancestors, spooks, goblins, ghouls, gods, I've seen them niggas standing. That shit is so much. I mean, like I said, let's keep it on the basics of people because they need step one to start actually knowing they're supposed to be trying to look at themselves. So let's get some questions in from the room, I guess, if you see some questions.
Oh, they got, man, this place is packed.
Or if any of the other sisters who are here or Zima has more, we could deal with what's in front of us first. And I know I go hard, Zima, but it's not at you personally. I try to make the point to everybody and I illustrate rough to make the point for everybody of how, because it's not for you or any disrespect. It's just to push the point. This is important. You know, I really feel passionate about it. You know, we got to keep our mind off of it because really in the end, when you wipe it all away, it's what they're doing versus what we're doing. And what I'm talking about is what we should be doing. And I know what they're doing. And they're going to do that. We can't control that. What we can control is what we do. And let's start there. And then after we are in control of what we do, if we are who we say we are, then it should be a cakewalk after that, I believe, to take care of whatever business in the rainforest or whatever your passions desire. And you could do that shit without leaving your couch. I could fuck niggas up without leaving this chair. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
That's all in here. The party's up in here. The more I went in, the more I found, oh shit, that's where you get down and boogie oogie oogie. That's where all the treasures of darkness are. Yeah. Believe you me. You will find that's funky town. And when you do go into that world, go in with your pants off. I promise you they nasty. Niggas is nasty. Salika gets it. All right, let's get some questions.
Y'all, I'm giving you ladies first chance. Salika, you got any questions?
Any questions?
You got to unmute your phone. I mean, your mic. And then Khadija, if she has any questions.
I have no questions in particular. I just wanted to edify everything you said. I was raised with this concept. Self is the most daunting thing that you will have to face one day.
Right.
And I had that kind of revelation. My stepmother raised me, and she passed away, and in 2019. And I happened to see a picture of her when she graduated college. She was standing in the picture with a friend of hers that went to college. They went as adults, and my father happened to be in the picture, and at the top of the picture was her age. I won't say the age because at the time I realized I'm the same exact age she was. And I had my challenges with her, you know, when she was raising us. It was not a great environment, but I had to take a step back and look at, wait a minute, you know, she raised me that she had to be, you know, in her 30s. And she had to do this and she had to do that. And there was 10 of us in the house that she raised by herself. My father, as Hank said earlier, that I was raised upstate. I was born from Queens, but moved upstate as a child. But my father was upstate. Cambria Heights.
Okay. I lived in Cambria Heights. I went to Andrew Jackson.
Okay.
M192.
But I was a child, so I mean, I love the city, you know. But anyway, my father stayed in the city and he worked, but most of the time, so she had 10 of us, and she had a regimen of everything. And we had mixed, you know, we had all these children in the house that 2 were hers. 2 of them was hers. She had others that were grown and out the house, but she had the last 2 to raise, and we were all kind of raised together. And it was just not a great environment from my perspective. And then as I become an adult and realized all that she had went through, she cooked every meal, 10 children, she cooked every meal. She had a regimen. It was just and she was also a teacher. So she would come home, she would do this and do that. And she was a little 5'4", and she was always going nonstop, writing papers. Everybody had hair in the house. We all had hair, and she combed everybody's hair. Everything was just regimented. But when I thought about her as a woman, it made me take a step back as a mother myself and realize that all that pain and stuff I had and what she did and da 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 da. You have to let that stuff go because it creates those kind of stuff that you hold on to.
Right. It's not for her.
Yeah, it was for me to realize that she did the best she could. I did the best I could as a mother, and the person I am today is because of her. But I realized the demons that she had going on in her house and how she was raised, and so it's one of those things that when you hold on to stuff, I realized for everybody who's done anything to anybody in life, and you're holding on to so and so did this to me, did that to me. How long are you going to hold on to it? What is the end goal?
What's the end result of that?
Is 20 years enough? And when you let it go, what good did it do you holding on to that? Because eventually it makes you sick. You end up with high blood pressure. You end up with eye problems. You end up with skin problems. And you think it's because of this one or that one. It's probably, also your diet. It's probably a culmination of stuff. But at the same time, it's what you're holding on to that is basically killing you.
You brought up an excellent point, because we talked about the suppression that you want to kill somebody, but also the suppression is high blood pressure, diabetes, depression, and all those negative traits, because that's the dark side. If you don't deal with the dark side of yourself, all of those sickness, gout, and all of that shit that you got is because we suppress and haven't dealt with the dark side. So that's actually a bigger side of it. And that's one of the things I teach in my class as a basics, how to forgive your mother, starting with my mother having me when she was 18. Then I looked at my kids and they weren't so bright. In fact, they were walking with their fucking pants off their ass. One was 18, one was 23, the same age as my parents. How the fuck did she do it? Right. So the more I thought on that level, the more, that's what I talked about earlier, compassion started coming in. Yes. Then from compassion, forgiveness. Yes. So I forgive her. She didn't. What the fuck could she do? Yeah, exactly. I can imagine my kid. We be eating Snickers and shit for dinner, and then the healing. Yes. So compassion. That's the Jesus traits in the heart. That's the exact pathway I teach in school. So that's actually an excellent job. And like I said, most people who are kind of a sound mind tap into this some sort of way, because that's what it is. The occult is not something you do. That's who we are. We dealt with both sides of the culture.
Right. And then you start to look at yourself. You start to look at yourself and say, well, what have I done that somebody else is holding on to that I'm not aware of? Maybe I did it intentionally or unintentionally.
Exactly. You also find your offenses.
Exactly.
You got to see. That's why you must see what you fear. You must see what you are. You must listen to those around you telling you, nigga, you always doing this, you always doing that. You're some of your closest confidants who can actually be honest with you. You must see when people tiptoe around you on certain issues. Observe it. Why are they tiptoeing? What have I displayed or displaying now that says this is a scary area? And again, to your point earlier, that's why we also say forgive and forget.
Yeah.
And that's why you've heard Black people say over the years, you got to forgive a person. It's not for you. It's for them.
One other thing I want to say is when you know you're healed, when you can talk about your situation in life that you had, the past experiences that used to bother you, and you don't have that emotional, you don't want to cry, you don't feel the anger. You talk about it as if it's a story, just to explain it. You don't feel that hate or that, being pissed off or that little demon that comes up when you talk about it. I was, one of my examples are, I'm realizing I was the common denominator in certain situations. And I had every job I was having the same exact experience. Gotcha. And then I realized I was the common denominator.
There you go.
And once I changed my behavior, I have never had a problem. My jobs were easy. I could, it was just, everything was easier when I realized I am the problem. Whatever that is.
Right. See, it's hard for a lot of people to admit that. They want to believe everybody else is stupid in their conscious.
Yes.
And see, that's where this conscious community thing also becomes a crutch for a lot of people. I'm woke, and it's sad that they're using this word. It was always a government word, but they're conscious and everyone else is stupid. So each time they go to a job, these stupid humans are interrupting. But yet again, when I see it, I'm like, you're lying to yourself. No, just like a Christian does. We haven't changed internally. Let's shout out Autumn, everybody. Thank you, Salika. I appreciate those comments. Those were excellent, excellent, excellent point, and an excellent advanced disposition to hold on to. And I hope a lot of people take that as an example and much more and keep flying with it. Shout out to Autumn in the building, bringing beautification along with the other ladies who already brought prior beautification. Just adding a little bit more sprinkles. Nothing wrong with cinnamon on a honey bun.
Oh, speaking of that, let me put you right there in the sandwich of them. Khadija.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions before we open it up to the general chat?
And I don't know if Autumn was listening enough to have a question on it. If not, we'll get her later some questions. Yes, Khadija.
Yeah. So I have a question. When people go to religion, do you think that or cult or culture, do you think that has something to do with something that happened from childhood? That they feel like they have to look outside of them and not
one more time. You were
themselves?
going in and out. You were going in and out a little bit, Khadija. I missed the first part of that question.
Okay. Well, do you think when it comes to religion and culture, do you think that most people growing up and when they so-called find themselves and they go outside of themselves, do you think that it could come from something that happened to their childhood where they feel like they have to go searching outside of themselves instead of within themselves? So they look for stuff like things like religion, culture, being a part of some type of, organization or with whatever, what have you. But like, because of something happened in their childhood and they haven't healed and they don't know who they really are, they go outside themselves. So they go looking for religion, they go looking for culture, they go looking for something that is going to accept them for who they are, because as a child, maybe they were not in the environment that they felt loved or.
Okay, I understand the question. There are many reasons I've seen people show up. You may hear me stutter. My mouth is still sore from yelling from the party, which I want to talk about the party we just had last Saturday that I know a lot of you guys missed. But my mouth is sore from yelling out deities, so I might get gummy. I've noticed over the years, Khadija, that people show up. Let's just look at this community for many reasons, all in which you have named and many more. So the best case scenario, there's a calling in them. And that calling is they have been through all the lifetimes they need here. They've done everything they need to do here, and they're going home. That's usually the truest of conscious people. They just seem to get it. And that's because there's a certain maturity in their spirit and their soul is ready to vacate. That's a very small elite group. And early on, when consciousness started, before it was on the internet, it was a very small elite group of people. And even early on before that, when Hank was running around the streets, beating his feet to the streets in the 70s, it was even smaller. They were looked at as crazy. My aunt was a part of that community and knew Hank. They knew each other in the 70s. They playing with their goddamn magnets and their wires and shit. And people thought they were cuckoo as bat shit. My aunt told me if she would have went in a restaurant to order a salad, she said she'd be lucky if she got a tomato. She said she heard it all. You eating with the cows, you eating with the this, you're eating with you're eating with the food you're eating is what my food eats. You know what I mean? Heard it all. So those people to stay strong to that, and I'll do you one better. My grandfather, her father was conscious in the OTO and all that. That nigga was on a lonely island. You know what I'm saying? He was terrible. What a curmudgeon. My uncle said I used to get on the steps just so I could be eye to eye to say, fuck you, motherfucker. You gonna die before me. You punk ass bitch. They gonna beat your ass out here in these streets all day. Mean guy. So consciousness was hard. Then in the 80s, when after what was happening was the Black Panther movement, which is the CIA movement, turned into Afrocentrism, which Malana Karinga, who was a agent the whole time, created Kwanzaa from East Africa, with Swahili became the thing, when most of us were from West Africa. So while that was fading, but at least people started wearing dashikis and shit again, Dr. Ben started taking people over to Egypt, and Dr. Ben already had books, but those books got popular in the 80s. So right after that Afrocentric movement started, they went into the history aspect. Dr. Ben started taking them there, and we made a connection with Egypt. Or Chem. Let's be real. Then Dr. Ben and them started being filmed by Like It Is, Tap Video. Early on, Sister Burt was maybe the second phase, where now there's this network of people being filmed, and it was so authentic because there was no room for none of this. That didn't happen yet. Abadagani didn't happen yet. It was straight information. And then Steve Coakley showed up talking about the Boule. And then Bobby Hemmett opened for him talking about the Dogon. Then there was more like Asa Hilliard, Ashtra Kwesi. And then there was this network of videotapes that were being sent around the country that was authentic. And anybody could show up in this group if they were there for information. So there was no such thing as a debate. It wasn't about arguing. It was just really about information. And everyone who shared information, such as myself, and I say today, it's not for you to follow me. It's not for you to do what I do. It's not for you to be like me, and it's not a religion. Take what you need from what I say, from what he says, if they were worthy anymore, this one and that one, and become your own entity. And that's what was happening, long story short, until the shit hit the web and it turned into what you have today. So then when it turns into what you have today, as we get to Khadijah's question, people show up for many different reasons. One of the main reasons, besides it being a calling, like it had to be in the beginning, which was the most pure of it all, that's like when Tupac was alive. And now this shit just became Graceland. You get what I'm saying? Way gone, and then you got Ja Rule and 50 Cent, a bunch of imitators standing in front of you, showing how smart they are. Not sharing information that you can use, but showing how much information they know that you don't know. And because we're used to that in public school, from our mind control, that the person in front of you must be smarter than you, if they show you that they're smarter than you by way of words, then you feel that you're following them. If the words are fancy enough and catch something in your psyche, then you think that you're going someplace with someone to nowhere. If someone's not giving usable stuff, books you could read, activities you could go on to your own and do, meditation, slick things that don't involve them, that you don't need them to understand, then they don't have your best interests at heart. I'll show you books you could read, things you could do on your own, and I hope you graduate from me. Not follow. I don't design words for you to follow me. So people need, Khadijah, family, fathers, uncles, all those people you meet. If I sit, you know how many people call me uncle for no reason, dad for no reason. The difference is I'm not trying to exploit that. That's how I feel. That's just my integrity. I feel. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody catches it, let me know what's up. Everybody's going to say what they're going to say. I get all of that. I don't buy into that. That's what children do, because this is a children place, a people who are here with all sorts of goddamn ridiculousness in their mind. The only thing I could do is try to stay true to the integrity of the message. So what I would urge, Khadijah, is understand what a message of integrity is. Not just because I'm saying it. It's a message where someone is giving you information that when you walk away, you no longer have to rely on them. If I give you information, see, I've seen a teacher do something as simple as this. Cancer operates at a frequency of I don't know, he's 15 megahertz. Good health operates at a degree of 400 and such megahertz. Happiness is this megahertz and that megahertz, and just walk away. Now that sounds deep, and it may be right, but you know he didn't make it up. Where'd you get it from, player? Because I want to read it myself. You don't have the ability to tell me the source you got it from. So that's the hype. When they're giving out all of these deep facts that may be real and not give you the source because you know it didn't come from them, that's what you should raise an eyebrow to. Because he's looking for, like a pimp, he's looking for people with needs. Why do you think a pimp has the rep of going to a bus station to pick up girls, little girls? Because if they show up at a bus station, they're either running away from abuse or running to be famous. So all he has to find out, number one, is what? You want to be famous? I'll show you the world. But there's things we have to do to get there, boo. And then if you're abused, what happened? Oh, your father did this, that, the other? Damn. He's getting a map of how you're psychically controlled. And before you know it, that same abuser, that's what you'll be calling him, daddy. That's all psychological warfare that they used on you who just have a good heart and want to find something else. So there's people who came because they have no family, they need community. There's people who came because they have a real calling. There's people who come now because they just like the gossip of this shit and call you hoteppers just to see how funny you niggas act with them goddamn clothes on. And you don't realize you acting funny because you're doing everything that you think makes you in the community, which is fucking made up bullshit. You are an individual that once you gain your own power, that's what makes you the community. No community, you can't be a community without power. You don't have none. Just a grouping of like-minded people at this point. You have no government, no law. What's the shit? We follow black laws. If you don't have a standing army to enforce that law, laws are nothing but earthly laws are nothing but rules. Keep off the grass. If I walk on the grass, if no one gets on my ass, then that's my grass. So all of this shit is made up. And usually now people are there for a whole world, Khadijah, of dependencies. You have to just see when you deal with inside and understand yourself and your nature, you get to see everyone else's dark nature too. You see what they're really about when they approach you. You won't even never have to ask that question. Everyone that comes before me, I know exactly who and what they are. I know exactly how much they've been listening to my shit and pretend it's their shit. I know exactly what their agenda is. I can see their hurt. I can see their happiness. I can see their content. I can see their fear. Because behavioral science, look up those things. Your facial expressions tell you everything. I told you there's a TV show you got to watch called Lie to Me on Hulu. It's starring the dude who was in Pulp Fiction, Honey Bunny. I'll execute every one of them. That dude. He's in Lie to Me. Lulu. I'm never forgetting that shit, Hank. Lulu. He had that bell. Oh, I should go get a bell for this.
And he's ready too. he is. You better believe he's ready.
Fuck that. You need to let Lulu come. We need that.
He's
Lulu.
like, come on, I got something for you. Open your mouth, Lulu.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Lulu tonight. Mm-hmm. Y'all fucking around. Me and Lulu gonna get it on. DJ, we gonna have company. But that's a good question, Khadijah. But I've seen people come up for so many reasons, but all based upon their shadow needs. So now in this present day, it's every man for themselves. You just don't know why niggas is here. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is here to do their mixtapes. All right. So do we got questions in the room, Uncle?
Oh, okay. Before
I want to keep.
I want to make sure that I want to give acknowledgement to Miss Bliss because she did something that was beyond my imagination.
Yeah. Shout out to
Bliss, and I'm just gonna throw this up here because it seems like it's pure, feminine, cascading moistness.
Occult guy. Excellent.
All
Tell
right, and thank you
Miss
again,
Bliss
Miss
I
Bliss,
said
if you're
thank
watching.
you. That was wonderful, Miss Bliss.
Yeah,
Very classy. I like that, Miss Bliss. Very
yeah.
classy. Thank you.
There was a question, and I'm
Yeah.
scrolling through here because all of a sudden it came like a wave of there's a little guy in here. Look like he might be a little kid. Esoteric studies. He's just lighting this whole thing up, man. Oh, Kindred. Kindred had a question. I thought it was pretty deep. Um, Brother Panic, my daughter transitioned at hospital where I used to work. I can see her ancestors are around me. Perhaps that's what she's saying. I received what messages to do my work that I've held on for too long. Any advice what to do? I don't quite
Well,
understand.
I'm not so sure of a question, but what it sounds like she's asking was advice to contact her daughter who transitioned. Well, and she said, I see her ancestors. Her ancestors are your ancestors. Ancestors are just ancestors. Ancestors are all right. When you pass, well, you as an individual have three parts to you. You have your body, your spirit, your soul. Your body never leaves Earth. That's clear, right? Your spirit travels between Earth and the astral world. When you die, and we're assuming your soul fell, my soul didn't fall down here. This is an avatar. Most conscious people who are advanced on that level didn't come back down here. They came here to raise up light. So the light that's down here that was young and had to go through this, and it's time to go with a pickup crew. We're getting you prepared for it, ushering your ass into a new reality when you go. So your body never leaves, but your spirit and your soul can be down here. When she makes the transition, her soul and her spirit can live in the astral. Now, her soul has a choice because her soul is the only thing that's real. Your soul is the only thing that's forever. Let me say that. So the soul can move on, and that's going through the cusp and doing the work to transform yourself into making the quantum leap and leaving. Now, if she decided to say, this is all I needed here and move on, whatever the young sister's name was, the daughter, her spirit still can exist in the astral while the soul is gone. Or the soul can decide to get another body. And at the same time, the daughter still can exist in the astral world at the same time. It's like she left the shell behind. Though the soul can move either on or back, the shell of the body shell is gone, but the spirit, as long as it's remembered, can live in the astral world. So that's why we set up altars, pour libations, put up pictures, keep grandmama's recipes, and do whatever we do to remember that person, because then we can access the spirit as if it's a database, not a personality that really cares. We deal with it as a personality. But again, all it is her template of energy left behind as the daughter that we have access to. Now, if we were the Dogon people who had the same mindset based upon our culture, eating, sleeping, fucking, marrying, dancing, war, rites of passage, men, women, grandmas, raised the same way, ate the same way, lived the same way, and died the same way. In the astral world, we create a pretty much a heaven, which because we direct our energy to that place, if that's all we know. This is why they call heaven, sweet by and by, the hereafter, the upper room, all of these generic names. Because if we name it, we spoil it with our little human mind because it's beyond humanity. But in the astral world, it's still connected to this place. Therefore, the Dogon people, now that their minds have always been connected through culture, are called networking. All the ancestors are niggers are the internet. They're Google. Simple as that. It's what the ancestors are looking. No, it's Google. Is Google looking at your ass? No. But each time you choose to turn on your phone and access all the information you would in the world, you can. Google is imitating the ancestors. The Dogon was nothing more than a network. So if I was a young Dogon guy who needed a question, I ask the ancestors. I'm literally asking a network of thousands. Now in America, because we're buried any which way, believing which what, I'm really asking relatives and certain groups of like minds. It's not as powerful as it was in cultures, but still powerful nonetheless if you're able to talk. That's all you're doing. You're contacting ancestors, so they're your ancestors. She is with the ancestors, not the ancestors are getting her. She went to the ancestor realm. She may have moved on. She may be back in your granddaughter, or your great granddaughter, or somebody else in your family through her soul. But whoever she was still exists on the astral plane. The way to talk to her is just like she's standing next to you. Because if you imagine and talk like you were when you were a child, how you did your dolls, how you did your action figures, remember you was with your car, you be in church going over each pew, your mom, come the fuck on, Mom, I'm gonna take this in the tub. You're taking an inanimate object and putting consciousness in it. That's what you should be doing with all your statues, all your trinkets. You know what I mean? Shout out to Sai Baba while we here. The Sai Baba. Sai Baba. Sai Baba. This is my nigga. And you talk to him as he's here. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been watching this shit, Sai Baba, and I know you tired of these niggas too. And I'm tired of their asses. So he said, yeah, y'all niggas stink up a storm. And I have to say I agree. So you talk to them like they there and they're there. So talk to your daughter as if she's standing right there. And you'll be surprised at your intuition where it starts, as Uncle Hank talked about. And then you'll expand into, damn, something's telling me I should do that. Remember, whenever you fuck up, something told me I shouldn't have did that. Whenever you do something right, something told me I should have did that. Well, the something told me is what you need to expand on. And you do that like a child, or how a child shall lead them. The same way you talk to your action figures, your baby dolls, as if they were real, maybe perhaps invisible friends. That's what they are, invisible friends. So she is there. So just talk to her as if she's there. Why isn't she not? Let's get another question, Uncle Hanky.
Yeah. Before we pulled up, I got a good one here. Autumn, you have an opportunity before I go into the general chat if you had a question.
Okay. Yes, it is. Autumn, sure thing. You
Okay. All right.
I
think she said she didn't have one, but there was a question here. Let me just find it.
Okay.
Before we go there, family, listen, make sure that you push the like button. I mean, this is almost like a consultation that Brother Panic is given for free.
No, that's what we do for free.
All right. This is really show your appreciation. Also, you're welcome to join the WhatsApp group that we have, the WhatsApp chat, by the QR code that you have people from all over the world who are listening, networking, learning, exchanging information. Just going to put that down. The other thing I wanted to share, it was a question that somebody had a question about polarities. Hold on a second. Here it is from I don't know how to pronounce that. What's a good book on alchemy polarity?
Well, I would say I would start with reading what you call it. They call it the Kabbalion now. That's the easiest way to access it. That's how they dumbed it down. So they tried to take it away from the average Negro. The Kabbalion is just the 7 laws of Tahuti. And the 5th law, I think, is polarity. And they expand, they first make the statement of what polarity is, and then they expand on it. But the way they expand, they leave it for room for interpretation and expansion of your own. So a good statement to read on it and what it means by definition of the ancient man is probably where you want to start. I don't remember reading any good books on it, but one that also expands on it is from Dr. Wayne Chandler, Ancient Future. He goes through the 7 laws and gives you a practical way of looking at it. My first book, I go through the 7 laws. I have a chapter on Kabbalion without selling, without just selling it. Booyah. Oh, you can't see it with the background. Either way, I have a chapter on Kabbalion where I go through it and I expand on some ideas on it. Other than that, just go on Google and see what you see. Look for the Kabbalion or Laws of Tahuti. Another good book is hold on. It's in my I have it in my what do you call it? Index or bibliography. The Secret Source. The Laws of Attraction is one of the 7 Hermetic laws. Here are the other 6 by Ausch Maja and Adam Parfrey, or Maja Aust. So her name is Maja, last name Aoust, and her co-author is Adam, last name Parfrey. The Secret Source. The Law of Attraction is one of the 7 Hermetic laws. Here are the other 6. So when they were talking about the Law of Attraction, why it didn't work and was a fad, because there are 6 other laws you must understand for that whole collective to work. And the Law of Attraction is under the principle of cause and effect. So go start with the Kabbalion and see what books leads you there. Again, everyone speaks on it. A lot of people have, and that's 3 books. Wayne is also a brother that you must know and love for his heart and his work in that book, which was actually a classic in the Black community, Ancient Future, Wayne Chandler. All right, let's get another one.
All right. Here's one. I'm scrolling through because there's so many.
Right.
How to defeat the guilt complex.
There's no such thing as the fucking guilt complex. What you need to figure out is how to defeat your guilt complex, nigga. Fuck are you guilty about? I don't have a guilt complex. I guess in general, if that's what you mean, there are things that we feel guilty about. There are things that I feel guilty about in my life. I know better than this point than to adapt a complex about it. And that's a good question, because if you have created a complex, that's my point of what I'm talking about today, why it's so important to get into the occult, because what you just admitted to is that you have a complex. And if you have a complex, you got a problem. But can you feel guilty? Hell yeah, we all do. So you have to identify what you feel guilty about. See, when we say the guilt complex, that subliminal message. See, that's how I read the dark side. When he says the guilt complex, whether I was just saying it like that and I was just trying to make the question. When you say that, he hasn't accepted it in himself. He's calling it outside of himself. That's like saying, instead of saying, can I get some of your pussy? Can I get some of the pussy? You would say, damn, this nigga's not even connected. Well, can I make the love with you? You still, it doesn't feel like I'm talking to you. But if I say, man, I make love to you, mi amor. Well, that's corny, but at least that nigga talking to me. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. So even saying it like that in a thing shows, because your subconscious doesn't lie. This is what readers do. Welcome to the club, nigga. Welcome to the stripper gang. You know what I'm saying? This is what readers do. That's what the dark side is. You see between the lines. So the guilt complex is telling me a person who hasn't accepted his own guilt. Doink.
All right.
So you have to see what you feel guilty about and then see if you have a complex about it. Next question, my brother.
All right. This one is Deandra Ransom.
Hi, DeAndre. Hi, DeAndre.
Panic. When heart chakra has opened, what is needed to stay balanced within polarity when rejected from all? I mean, all in the physical. And we got a beautiful addition, Kamaat Khadija, coming to Cascade Shakti
Ooh.
on the later
Hello.
shift.
Hello. First of all, self-love is the key. Oshun is not about finding dick and pussy. Oshun is actually the goddess of the energy, because all of these gods and goddesses and deities are just definitions of energies that reside in you. So she's just the energy of self-love. So to truly open up your heart chakra, it's a process of self-love. It's your heart chakra. I want you to hear something. She said, how do I keep my heart chakra balanced when somebody else doesn't love me? See, I know how to read the dark side. You'll be able to read the dark side when you look within. So what she's really saying is, I need other people to define me in my heart. That's what she's saying. When I thought it was all about self-love. I heard all that community shit. I love myself and no shoot. What happened to all that? And I'm not getting on the sister who asked the question. I'm just monkeying around for the sake of monkeying around. But ultimately, that's what she's saying. So if she was in the reading, I know what I would be hearing. She's looking for outside people. So if she finds some moment of peace in her heart, she's waiting for people to act a certain way for her to maintain her heart. That's because she hasn't dealt with something that's annoying her, something that she's fighting. So when she gets rid of that fight, she won't look for other people to act any kind of way for her to keep a balanced heart chakra. She balances her heart chakra when she chooses to, based upon dealing with Mayat. And what's Mayat? Dark side and light side, nigga. I thought it was a scale. All that shit y'all know. But I'm telling you what that shit means. It's talking about the duality of the dark and light in you. That's what all this shit is about. See, nobody want to say it because everyone had all these fucking studies that they were so deep on. But then when it comes down to one word, occult, they feel that it's one or the other. They don't understand that all this shit is the occult. All of it is. You either have an esoteric understanding or an exoteric understanding. We have an exoteric understanding pretending that is fucking deep. A true esoteric understanding, you'll be able to read both sides and see reality. Keep going. I'll keep showing you the true reality in these questions. We could do it all night.
That's
Let's
one.
go, Uncle Hanky.
All right. Got one here saying, what is ego death? Is it possible to completely rid the ego or transmute it to serve us?
You cannot get rid of the ego as a human being. It is designed for one and one purpose only, to help you survive as a human being. All right, let's get rid of the ego. So somebody smack your mom, you're going to say that's fucking the laws of attraction? Somebody smack your mom, you're going to go, what did you do? That's cause and effect, mom. That's stupid. Let's stop asking questions. See, we also ask questions that we can't ever do, because then we don't have to do it. You understand? So now the better part of that question is, can we transmute it? I've learned to, the more you trust in spirit, because the ego wants to survive, it will do anything to survive. It doesn't exist. That's what the movie Revolver is about. Showing you that the ego, the emperor, has no clothes. But to transmute it, you must give the baby its bottle. So what I've learned is the harder I went with spirit, and the more I said fuck, I don't want to just say fuck humanity because people have got that twisted wrong. The more I stopped indulging in the mindset of humanity, the more every time I got the opportunity in my own head to pull away from Beyonce and thinking she was the shit and taking the mentality, I'm not watching Love and Hip Hop, I'm studying it, studying humanity. Started to see myself in the middle point. That's a move you do in polarity. In fact, we didn't finish reading that last time. And I actually did want to read this portion when we talked about polarity. That it says clearly, and this is also from my book. It says clearly, mental alchemy. Mental alchemy now. This is something called mental alchemy, meaning a mental change. Most of what you must do to get on the dark side is mental alchemy. A mental change must happen. So it clearly states mental alchemy, and this is in the Kabbalion about polarity, which means the change that takes place in your thinking is to understand that the art of polarization, there's something called the art of polarization. I learned the art of polarization, which means to put yourself in the middle point. You're neither here nor there. I understand why white people do what they do and why niggas do what they do. I'm on the nigga side, but that ain't what we're doing right now. I'm polarizing myself in the middle. I'm neither QAnon or Black Lives Matter. I'm neither Republican or Democrat. You have to have this mentality throughout, which is harder than niggas think. To understand the art of polarization or looking at both sides of any situation is the alchemy. This would be your thinking with your divine God, goddess frequency, holistic or androgynous, before the tragedy of separation. So, my ego desperately trying to survive under the spiritual duress that I put it under through my work, said, fuck it. To live in this environment, I just got to give this nigga what he wants. See, because your ego also works against you to keep you in a box. Because you're safe in that box. It's used to that box. If we asked everybody, would you like $1 million? Yes. How come none of you niggas got it? Because we have seen limits within our ego that we don't even know, based upon our poor and grown-up upbringing. So our ego is giving us what we want to survive, whether we like it or not. $10 an hour, or $20 an hour, or $30 a year, or $100 a year. That's all based upon what you believe and your ego is now convinced of you survive as and survive at. So once I was able to do all the spiritual practices, all the things I talked about for years, and put my ego under such a duress, it had to survive. It had to start serving me in a different way. So I changed the nature of it. Instead of making my ego run the business, my ego now follows the business. And it ain't got nothing to do with attitude and popping off in the store and all of that. We talking about this is a personal, internal understanding. None of this is about showing anybody anything. People may notice things. Who cares? No one's, oh, he's a better person. He's spiritual. Remember, this ain't about being a better person, right? This is about transformation of the nature of self. That ain't a person. So a side effect in the ego, maybe you may be calmer because I'm not really, okay, whatever. You know, I'm more that guy, or try to be. But your ego is always going to pull you because that's what it does. I don't fight that if necessary. Sometimes you gotta tell a mother, look the back of my whatever. That's not what you're really concerned with. You're concerned with the lie that you tell yourself. The lie that you tell yourself. You want to be honest with yourself. You can tell people, you're going to tell people whatever you need to tell them. You don't want to look stupid. You don't want to look dirty. So you're going to do all of that. That's not what you're fighting. You ain't supposed to come outside, you know what I'm saying? I have no ego. I didn't wash my vagina today. I'm being real. That's not the story of it. I'm going to say Autumn laugh. I was going to say Autumn gets it, but I'm not going to say that. Autumn just laughed. Point I'm getting at is that's not, we confuse those worlds. That attitude is the spiritual concept of the ego. They are connected. If you got just a crazy, insane attitude, then you probably got another problem that still requires spiritual attention. But as long as you're having a human experience, you're going to run into the shit because you're going to be challenged constantly. Your survival is going to be challenged constantly. Just what you wear is a part of your choice in survival. Do you want to show, you got the breasts, you always want to show cleavage? That says something. You never show cleavage. That says something. You wear pumps, you wear sneakers, all of those things. You wear suits, you wear conscious clothes. All of those things say things about your ego. And ultimately, when you wipe it all away, it's about survival. How you need to be perceived so people respect you enough so you can move, operate within the realm you're comfortable in for survival. So your ego becomes anything to survive. It'll even tell you you're the most hotepiest bad motherfucker ever. There's a story about Buddha and the ego, where he's meditating under that tree for whatever amount of time, ridiculous amount of time, trying to get rid of his ego. Then his ego finally appears and says, you won. You did it. You beat me. You're the best. I can't even, hands down, I thought I would win, but you win. You're the best, Buddha. He said, I'm not even falling for that shit, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Your ego will tell you anything that you're winning. So you got to just understand how to keep it tamed where it's not interrupting other people's shit. And the way to do that is try to refrain from a lot of human activity. And what I found, the more I did that, my ego became tamed. Most of us lead our lives with our ego. Our survival, because we are in survival mode. So once you understand that concept, and even in this hostile environment, you start doing the best to look at things other than survival mode, and you'll find you're in survival mode because you keep finding yourself in the mix in your mind, not doing the mental alchemy. You do more of the mental alchemy, you refrain from the whirlwind that you're in, at least to a certain extent, and then it kind of relieves you in some of what your ego has to do to survive.
I have
Khadija has a question.
So basically, you're stating in some way that we need our ego in order.
One more time, Khadija.
So basically, you're stating we need our egos in order to survive.
Absolutely.
Okay, regardless if it's negative or positive.
Well, look at it this way. What is the ego for then? Why do you have one? It is absolutely a product of humanity. Every kid, as soon as you're born and you come out crying, that's your ego. It's saying, feed me, hug me, take care of me. A baby who hasn't developed his ego, because it's to protect you. So people you get along with, for instance, I had an anger problem, therefore an ego. Anytime you said something, what the fuck you say? So now years later, when I realized it, I had to, I talked to old friends, man, I want to be sorry for the unacceptable asshole I was back when he was little. And to him, he's like, nigga, that's exactly what we needed in our crew. That's why nobody did shit to us. And a couple of people said that under different circumstances. So at the time, my ego worked well in a ghetto environment. Not necessarily positive, but functional. You get what I'm saying? For that particular level of survival. But now, what the fuck do I need to be mad living in the suburbs at Walmart for? It took me about fucking 5-6 years to figure out why these niggas keep looking at me saying hello. Because your ego now has no place to go. It was built up as a survival mechanism, and that surrounding had no place to go. So it starts from when you're a baby. When you're crying, that's your ego calling out. So when you bump your knee, hit your arm, then your ego's getting more sophisticated. It knows not to jump off the bed. You ever look at some shit you used to do when you was little, go, what the fuck was I thinking? There was a 3-story on Roosevelt Island escalator with a 3-story drop. We used to get on the edge, just ride down that shit all day. One fall smooth, nigga. One fall smooth. And then my nephew, who's born in the world of Nintendo, he lived on the island. Yo, we used to ride on that shit. What in the fuck was wrong with you? He was looking at me like, y'all out of your mind? Because he's used to playing Donkey Kong Country, Crash Bandicoot. That's where he gets his adventure. We didn't have that. This Pong wasn't doing it. So we did all. So your ego, why would we do that then and not now? Our ego wasn't sophisticated to know what a cracked fucking head was. But when I seen it later, oh my stars. I can't believe we ever would do some shit like that, because you're more sophisticated and you see more people get hurt, beat up. So your ego is always, that's what your ego is. It's there to protect you. Your ego is why you flinch. That's your ego. People think your ego is your fucking attitude. What small, unstudied niggers. But it's actually why you flinch. So your ego, you not getting rid of your ego. As long as somebody can scare the shit out of you, then there she blows. It develops more depending on the sophistication of your dysfunction, or the sophistication of maybe your Paris Hilton lifestyle. Not necessarily no trauma in the classic sense we know it, but trauma if they show up to the wrong event with the wrong Gucci on. That shit is just as mind-blowing to them as fucking Bubba Gump and them niggas running up on you, stealing your fucking shrimps. You feel what I'm saying? So in their mind, their ego rises to whatever occasion because that's what it does. It's there to create an invisible insulation to make everything feel good. That's what it is. You think I talk like this when it's me and Khadijah? Yes, Khadijah, we're going to make turkey burgers tonight. Now, that shit is a part of my ego doing it now to present on something on a videotape. You get what I'm saying? So the ego is most necessary. But you have to know the nature of the ego. And when your ego's out of control and when it's time to park it. But that's an internal thing. If you have a problem with your ego that is affecting others so much so, that's a different story. But we're talking about the average person who people think of as pretty cool. They all have an ego. There's something we can't say to their asses. Something we don't want to bring up. All ego. All right, let's get another question going, Uncle Hank.
Okay, we got one here. This is an interesting one.
All right.
Brother Panic, how can you tell when your shadow self has came out and you are protecting yourself versus a person who's really acting irrational and you are having a realization and you're just speaking truth? I need a peanut butter sandwich.
I mean, these crazy motherfuckers is just crazy. Usually what I'll say is when anything spiritual happens, it's a little bit more subtle than dramatic. When I hear here is somebody who's just basing it upon what you're seeing on TV, perhaps that they equate irrationality with a big drama of spirituality. Usually spirit is more quiet and subtle. So usually when spirit works for me, the whole thing is avoided altogether, whatever it is. I've never had to act irrational and said that's some spiritual shit going on. Irrational behavior is irrational behavior. I've talked with power, but then I'm not talking nothing irrational. I'm not usually irrational behavior is someone defending yourself. Ultimately, if you're doing spiritual work, you're on offense. Any of these niggas told me I have to do this, we going to do work, we going to get them, is nothing fucking but weaklings. It's an extension of their ego and fear. Always under attack, always got to attack somebody. You still gang banging, but now all of a sudden you just put honey on it and call it Oshun. Any true spiritualist is working from the space of offense. The shit usually ain't coming across their table. And then when it does, I've never seen from Khadijah or anybody I respect doing this work an irrational reaction. Not when you create all situations yourself. What happened to that? How do you act irrational or even confuse anything spiritual with anything irrational unless you're in a situation where you're acting fucking insane? That's what irrational behavior is. And if you confusing spirituality with irrational behavior, then you're just acting irrational. I've never seen spirituality is the most rational thing I've ever done. So I cannot confuse spirituality with its absolute opposite, irrational human behavior, because human behavior is the most irrational shit I've ever seen. You don't believe me? Just go back and look at the fucking last conscious shit y'all just niggas went through. Fucking irrational. Irrational. Cult-like behavior. Irrational. Spirituality, calm as a fan. See, with all this yelling, it's going to take me a while to relax, because all this yelling is human shit. I'm zoned out, but I'm using my human apparatus while the spiritual means comes through. And all that energy, when I zap up all this energy, my mind will be going all night with rational shit. So much shit you wanted to shut the fuck up because you can write another book because you just want to get the fuck to sleep. Let me tell you, I got 2 Khadijas in the house and my wife's name is Khadija. This is some real good shit.
I was just looking at that. Yeah.
Got a lot of Khadijas. And that's exactly how my lady spells her name. Got a lot of Khadijas. But we got a lot of good. We got Autumn. We got Zima. We got Salika. We got the fine of the Shakti ladies.
Oh, Khadijah's popped back. Let me move this.
Popping back to
Khadijah's.
Khadijah's. I better not say Khadijah because that's what I call my wife. She's like, who the hell you calling Khadijah? That's our special name, a secret code name, Khadijah. And I bet you already know it because each time you get on the phone system, they go, hello, Khadijah. That's where I got it from. They never say Khadijah. So when you call the cable company, hello, Khadijah. So when she used to work at a Weather Channel or Comcast or one of them. She did some TV shit. And it was like, hello, Khadijah. I said, oh, your name is Khadijah from now on. So it's stuck. So I got a lot of Khadijahs in the building. All right, so let's get some more questions. And I'm going to try to look behind the questions because I'm not really trying to beat anybody up in the room. You know how I talk, but it's not really personal, guys. I'm not trying to make anybody embarrassed. Just trying to answer the question where we get it in our niggery way. All right, what's the best approach and introduction to teach children under 13 about this knowledge? Fuck the kids. What the fuck them dumbass kids?
That's an answer right off Saturday Night Live, man.
Yeah, like, let me tell you. I would say this, though. Your kids learn by example. Don't teach them nothing. You do exactly what the fuck I told you to do and watch how badass they come out. You start teaching them. I'm telling you to your face right now, you don't know shit. So what the fuck you gonna teach them? How to do like this? How to go like this? Hotep? No. Teach yourself. Fuck the kids. Teach the grown-ups, nigga. They the lost ones. You teach your kids will come right along. Your kids lead by example. Like somebody said to my son at the party, you know, it must be real hard living with Panic and Khadijah. Your parents, boy. You know, that's some hard living, man. Know what he said? The fuck are you talking about? My parents are cool, nigga. Look around. You at the party. I've never left the party. The nigga high, he drunk. We party all the fucking time. We just bring the party to the public. So he having a good old time. He know what he know. He move like he move. I don't see him going to church. He know he's confident in his area, whatever. He does it. He's a human being. But if we start teaching them at 13, what would make us better than a fucking Christian? The same way your kids sat there and hated Christianity, not even because it's Christianity, dummies. They hated it because you were the one fucking telling them to do it. So if you tell them to do this shit, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? They're going to feel the same way you do. Our kids love our shit because it's our shit. And they see how we make it work for us. And that's why they respect it. They ain't respecting us beating them up, telling them to eat vegetables and shit. All the little kids that's my little nieces and nephews around here. And their moms and them fucking made them eat goddamn all them vegetables. They at our house. We got Snickers popping. They eating fucking raisins and grapes and shit. They all 25 and 30 now. Beefing with their parents. Not our kids. That nigga wanted to come tonight. He still texting me, look, nigga, come this weekend. He want to come tonight to work. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Okay, you can give it to okay. So like long and short, no, don't try to force this on your kids. If you're just an example, get them good books. You know what I'm saying? What you need to do is just make sure your kids read and try to find them, try to get them in love with reading. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Get them in love with reading and then start slipping them something that expands. See what they're into. Don't be all fucking deep. We all came with our own paths. How do I fuck up my kid's path is the next question. Get your shit together, niggas. You don't even know what you're asking anymore. That's why I'm telling you don't know what's going on. And I'm telling you even one better. You don't even need me if you go within. I'm trying to let you off the hook. I'm not telling you I'm the man of all things. I'm telling you what I did, what I know to do, that's going to get you at least to another level of expansion. You could go wherever the fuck you want after that. You'll know, you won't have to ask me what to do with your kids when you're 13. It'll come from your heart. They're your fucking kids. What to teach your kids when they're 13? That Brother Panic is the greatest motherfucker to ever fart. Teach them that. See, when you ask that kind of questions to other men, you open the door for corruption. And I'm telling you and have been telling you consistently, I don't need to be the corrupt nigga in your life. Go within. Your answers are in you. That's integrity. You responsible for your own self and your own fucking kids. You will know these answers. You ask another nigga, you fucking up. Imagine if I didn't have Khadijah in the level of integrity I have, because it gets lower. Oh, there'd be plenty of hand jobs in the community tonight. See, I don't do that. I don't need to do that. And I'm content in myself that I don't and don't have to. So since I don't have that pussy agenda, because that's usually what it comes down to, I can tell you straight up, without hustle, that shit's in you. You don't need nobody. All your answers is in you. You just got to know how to listen in it. And instead of asking these ass questions, you should be asking, how the fuck do I listen better? Because all of these answers can be answered by you. You have no faith in yourself. You have no self-confidence. Talking about we in a community. You have no self-confidence. The shit that you do get from your intuition, you're going to ask me. Niggas ask me questions like, I was sleeping and the blue goddess came and she had blue wings and she stood before me. What does that mean, Panic? I wasn't there, motherfucker. Anubis stood before me. What does that mean? It means you should have asked him what the fuck was he standing there for. That's the reality that I know. Y'all niggas ain't doing shit. So when I exclaim you ain't doing the shit, because I can tell by what you're asking me. You're asking me half-assed questions that you should be able to answer yourself. If they coming to you, that means you have the ability. If they coming to you for a reason, then you should be going. Your next move is to ask the next man. That's like a girl bending over, pulling her pants down, and you go, hold up, I got to get on fucking live with Hank. Yo, Panic, her pants is down. So what should I do now? What's the metaphysical aspect of? Well, it's bent over, it's smiling. Is that means is a chakra open, nigga? You wouldn't have to ask me that. So to me, these questions are on that level, and I don't want you to necessarily stop asking them, because we need to expose them for what they are. Let's raise them up. Don't be scared, because I know the question's gonna get thin after that one. All right, let's get another one.
This is a good one.
Okay.
How reliable are the emerald tablets in terms of usable information?
Number one, how much have you relied on them, and how much you use them? None, right? So until you rely on them and use them, and you're able to tell me how reliable they are and how usable they are for you, or how non-usable they are for you, then we don't really have a question. What you're really asking me to do is define some shit for you, which I just scolded everyone for that reason. Define it for me then, and I'll wait. How much have you used, and how reliable have they been for you, or their lack of? I'll wait. Exactly. We got to get past this. I'm not that dude. I know you're used to you're used to guys answering that because they want to seem like your pimp. They want to seem like the know-it-all, and they don't really give you an answer. See, what they would say is this. Oh, they're most definitely reliable. Those are the tablets of Tahuti. I've used them for this, that, the other. They are absolutely all. They come from here, 19 this BC, that before this in the 5th dynasty, and then they were metal here. Da, 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 da. It would have been a long, detailed answer, but guess what? You don't know how to do shit, but just listen to what I said. Think about that. I'm trying to let you niggas off the hook right now. I would give you this long, detailed answer. That's pimping, son. The reality is, you supposed to be telling me. If that's an interest on your mind, that means something in your spirit says study it. You have no faith in yourself. You have no faith that you can study it, come up with an answer that satisfies you to move in a certain way. It's not how reliable they are. How reliable are they to you? That's the story. I'm not here to study everything, but if it comes to you, it's for you. You got to do this on your own. I could tell you whatever. I could tell you how smart I am on the subject. I don't need to. But if you know, that's what you got used to, people doing that and passing it off as you learn something, but you didn't. The 17th dynasty, the Emerald Tablets, were the most relied on piece of work coming from the priesthood of Tahuti that Kim had to offer. But that didn't answer nothing for you, though. All I did was show you how much I knew about the tablets, potentially. And you can't even really back that up. Think of the hustle. Next question. I'm going to show y'all niggas what the dark side is. Y'all not even catching it yet. Because I can see it in the ladies' faces. When you watch this again, I'm showing you what the dark side is. How do you spiritually defend yourself? You have to line yourself and wake up the deities that are within. Like I teach it in class, that's a whole lesson. I teach in class, but you want to do things in your house. There's a tape that me and Hank did. Hank showed you how to spiritually protect your house with pyramids in certain corners. You could put salt in corners. You could put water under the bed. You could find books. Just look for spiritual protection books. There's one by Robert Laramie. There's some by Baba Raul Carnazares, which is the same person. Baba Raul is Robert Laramie. That's his pen name. There's a purple book he's done. Spirits, I can't remember it. If I get a chance, I'll go get it. But there's plenty of books on psychic self-defense and spiritual something by Robert Laramie. And it's a purple book. That'll show you how to do it. Self-deification, which I teach in class. I think I did a lecture on self-deification. We did self-deification rituals at the party we just threw. The deities party, which was in fucking insane. I had no idea you niggas had it like this. And I had no idea. I really didn't take this shit serious. My lady Khadijah put this party together. And we're going to do it again. That's why I'm talking about it. And it's pretty much deities, saints, gods, and goddesses. People came as deities and saints. On my Instagram, BROTHAPANIC at Instagram, Brother Panic, BROTHA Panic. You'll see 2 lives and a lot of pictures from the party. Motherfuckers was wearing prosthetics. That person behind me in the picture that Hank put up is a picture I took from the party. I think the sisters in the room. That's one of Khadijah's people from class. I can't remember the sisters.
Yeah, I wanted to use that for the show promo, but didn't get clearance.
Oh no, that's another sister who's beautiful. She's from North Carolina, and I tell you, that's not CGI. This sister is incredible, amazing. There was so many amazing, beautiful sisters. Most people from Khadijah's class showed up, thonged out. Oh my goodness. My girl Shy. Oh, she's beautiful. Everyone's beautiful. Khadijah was pimping that, hosting it. Lovely. You'll see in the live. Courtney, my girl Courtney, the yoga instructor. Woo, pretty, real classy. Drunk Sis and Khadijah put this event on, and they're going to do more. They have plenty of themes. Y'all need to stay tuned. And if y'all missed it and want to get on it, get on Khadijah's list for the next one. info@samedireadings.com. info@SAMEDI.
Oh, let me create a info
at Samedi, SAMEDI.
SAME.
Yes.
DI.
Readings with a S.com. So info@samedireadings.com. Perfect. Email her there. Tell her you want on the list for the next party. And she'll get you on, so at least you'll know when it's happening. Fucking phenomenal. The energies, I had to do rituals in the back. We were doing self-deification rituals to lock it in. Whoa, when I tell you, motherfuckers showed up. My dude showed up, and there was about 1,000 Baron Samdis. You know what I'm saying? Cats really put it on. Shout out to my nigga El Cristo Negro. That nigga came with the cross, bearing the cross. This shit was fucking incredible. My boy Dane was in the building. Who else? There was a lot of my sons in them. My man Cloud, Corporate Cloud came. He's a little cat that grew up. This nigga's a beast. He came as the Green Osiris. So like, shit was real. I didn't believe it would be that powerful. You people showed up in full regalia. That's the ritual. See, y'all be laughing at them white boy dressing up as Marvel characters, dressing up as goddamn Matrix characters, Star Trek characters, but they're invoking a certain energy, a certain power. Now you do it with us with direction. Nigga, what? I can tell you, niggas is still high off of that night. And that's real. Y'all want to participate in something like that? Get on the next one. Get on the next one. If you slept on this one, don't worry. We'll be back soon. They're already planning for the summer. So info@samedireadings.com for the next one. All right. So, all right, let's get another question going there, Uncle Hank.
Okay. Here's one.
Yes, sir.
How do one get away from being so logical?
Good question. Good question. Good question, Rhea. Logic is the bane of our conscious spirituality. The first thing they teach you in school is stop with the imagination, pay attention, sit up straight, stop being a kid. The opposite of your logical mind is your imagination. The more you're able to imaginate, which is actually visualize, which is actually program yourself with symbols, the more you could get out of logic. You have to know and understand where your logic serves you. You're ordering a sandwich at the local sub shop, logic. No mayonnaise, light mustard, little salt, little pepper. Clean that machine before you cut that meat. So that's logic. Thinking, deducting. You're not going to think your way in the spirits. You're not a thinker, you're a knower. So your knower comes through the pictures that you see, i.e. your imaginations. So just the same, if you see it and believe it, you can achieve it. And all of those things come from a bigger concept. Your ability to visualize and see it is the act of it happening in the moment. They play with you with that law of attraction shit. See yourself in the car now. See yourself in the Corvette now. Wear the Corvette gloves, wear the Corvette jacket, hang with Corvette people, read Corvette books, and you're magnetizing a Corvette. Your thoughts are magnetic. So the more you work with the symbols in your mind and magnetize, the more you start going past reason and logic as you start to program your subconscious mind for results. Your subconscious mind doesn't think. So it just produces results once it's programmed correctly. Trauma, repetition, or symbols. Symbols are the visualization. Symbols are the images that you're looking at. If you see yourself as Don Juan Smooth, you got to be. You ever notice when you was a teenager, there was a time niggas started cutting up their clothes, the same way they wear holes in their jeans. That wasn't big or went away for a while. So now they're doing it in the 80s. So I had to see myself as a nigga who could actually wear holes in his jeans and dance to house music, because that's what was coming down the pipe. And I seen it here and nothing ever questioned. It became that dude. And when I got tired of that, put on regular clothes again, or whatever it was the new trend. So you don't have to think your way into that. You just see yourself as, I can fit in, and that's something I could wear in this trend, and you do it. So you got to know how to have that mentality and expand on that mentality. The idea that is true and believe it to be true. Know it to be true. And the more you can keep that strength, the more the subconscious mind is now starting to will believe you through the actual visualization and the representation. So the more results you get, the more you'll start to see the contradiction in your thinking versus your visualization. And the stronger your visualizations, the stronger your spirit. You got to expand on this process. So meditation, visualization is the key. Make up stories and see yourself in those stories. And what you'll start to do is you'll see, because the subconscious mind can't think, when the results happen, you won't even know they're happening. That's why they call it magic, because they don't have a logical path to how it won, how you got it. So most of the shit around me, I look out, this is fucking amazing. You know what I'm saying? Shit, nigga, I'll show y'all niggas some shit right now. God damn it. Where's my goddamn son of a goddamn streamer? Goddamn. Ooh, this camera. Hold on, let me get this thing back up so I can see. Like, all right. Oh, damn, I got this background on, so you ain't really gonna see. Hold on, let me take this.
Go ahead, man. I'm going to give notices.
I'm just going to take the background off real quick, because just to show none. All right, here we go. All right, like when I look like at my closet, this is just one closet. This is a double closet walking back to back. And I look at all this crap and all this shit. There's another walk-in closet in there and another walk-in closet in the back. And I look around, there's a TV in every room. All the modern shit, like, for instance, shit. Just my DVD collection is worth over fucking 35, 40,000, some shit. And that's moderately. That's fucking 4K, just DVD. Nobody even plays DVD. So when I look at all of this shit accumulated in rooms in the 3-level house of bullshit, I don't logically know how this shit even got here. All But then when I think about it,
Okay, I think he dropped out momentarily. And while he's coming back, here's the WhatsApp link to the collective for networking. There's the QR code, and I'll just move the banner for a second. Where did Panic go? Okay, he stepped out. He'll be back. This is the QR code. Now tomorrow, family, we're going to have another show. Uh, Tomorrow's show is going to be about the four types of men and the four types of women that you don't have to waste time in your life, that will either be a heaven or a hell for you, starting tomorrow at 8 p.m. And it's going to be the knowledge and wisdom of Brother Laji Selassie. So the four types of men in the world and the four types of women, so that you can pick your heaven versus your hell. So I think that'll be interesting for many of us. Don't you agree? Let's see where Panic is. Okay, he'll be back or not. Yeah, he dipped out. The other thing I wanted to share with you, this is a banner I made, and many of you that may have the questions on this. It says, I searched for God and found only myself. I searched for myself and found only God. And that's a Sufi proverb. So perhaps that too may be helpful in knowing yourself. Also, let's see, there's Sunday classes. Oh, I thought I had Panic back. He dropped out again. So this is the Sunday information about studying your IM. Oh, here he is, right here.
yeah,
Okay. Will
yeah,
you
I
put a
think
record out, bro?
yeah, I was talking a whole bunch of shit too. I didn't realize the browser was off. I thought it might. That's what I said. Oh shit!
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
still thought you might have. But anyway, what? And I know you was talking about some, but I guess to make the point why I was showing you all that, because when I look around all the material shit that's in this house, at least on a material level, I can't. It's a bunch of shit, 3 levels of shit of all the modern conveniences that any monkey would want, but I don't have a logical pathway of how it got there. But then when I one day I remembered when me and my friend was a kid and had a conversation. Well, what do you want out of life? And I described, long story short, I described every fucking thing I had now down to the woman. I was like, damn, because at a certain time I must have programmed myself to attract this. And your subconscious mind doesn't know logically, but it just does the work. So that's why it's so important to talk to the dark side, because you're talking to your subconscious through either repetition or through symbols, through that visualization. There's many other things. There's through your astral traveling. Your altars are a physical representation of this uh, symbols, fairy work. I can show you where all of that leads to one thing: subliminal programming. I did in my class. That's what I taught in my class. How all the things, candle magic, crystal work, is subliminal programming. All of it. Because you're doing one thing. You're programming the dark side, and your subconscious mind does it. It creates the reality without you thinking. So if you created your mind, you ever notice them people who all about money, all about money, all about money? They program themselves to be all about money, but the problem is all about chasing money, not all about receiving money. So they're always in the grind. We do it all the time. I'm hustling, I'm on the grind, I'm doing my thing. That's why when you get nigga rich, you spend your money real quick, because you program yourself with hustling, being in the grind, being hungry, starving, trying to get this money out here, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. That's why when white boys are rich, they have dirty sneakers. When we're rich, we have clean sneakers. Money's no big deal in them, so getting new sneakers don't mean shit. It's a different subliminal programming. And until you understand and take reins of your subliminal programming or your dark side, you've done nothing. You've done nothing. All right, Hank, I didn't know if I interrupted one of your a message, and if not, we can take more questions.
Okay, we're gonna take one more.
Okay.
And this was a good one. I was scrolling. I was like, yeah, that's a good one right there.
Okay.
And where is it? Hold on a second.
Sure.
It was talking about, somebody had a mention about when they was out of body and they looked at their hands and how could they enhance out of body travel. That's what the question was.
I did all of that, and the textbook definition of what that person is talking about is lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
And what I'm absolutely confident on about that is because before I even knew what it was, I was practicing astral traveling and started to lucid dream. Do all of that, look at my hand, and I was doing things like in the dream, reaching for my camera, trying to take pictures of shit. So I was mixing my logical thought in that world.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. And then also, I remember seeing my aunt in a waterfall classic scene. You know, the goddesses washing up Moses, and you expect Moses to come floating along any minute. But I was reading at the time books on what water, how to use different waters in spirituality. So river, if you want to clear something out, you want to get to something deep, ocean water, rainwater, of course, for something new, pond water, if you want to keep something still. So they were in the pond. So I remember going, y'all in some still water. This is dead water. And then it turned into a waterfall.
Wow.
So what stuck out was that I was actually rationalizing as panic in my dreams. I was aware of what I just studied. That was a big deal. There was one other time me and Khadijah were still courting. She came to New York. We stayed in the hotel just so we could, I was living with my cousin, so I wanted to let my nuts hang. And we stayed in the hotel when she came. And I remember getting arrested in the dream and saying, "This is fucked up. This ain't gonna happen. I'm in the bed with Khadijah in a hotel, and I'm gonna wake myself up." So I've been doing that. The girl Shu I used to fuck with, she was a bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Dark skin. And sexual alchemy was the order of the day. And man, it was so fucking lucid. That's when I contacted Lamb. Lamb is a deity that Crowley took a long time to try to get. And it's really actually a reflection of your own soul. Very hard to look at. Crowley did it, said he wanted to stop. Then L. Ron Hubbard and something Parsons. Is it Jack Parsons, the airline dude? He was an occultist, and so was L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard went on to start Scientology. They got in an argument with Crowley because they wanted to open up this gateway, and they did. L. Ron Hubbard did it because it also opens up the holy the whore, the Scarlet Whore, which they were doing rituals with Tom Cruise's wife and that baby that Tom Cruise had. The Scarlet Whore shit. That's L. Ron Hubbard shit that he wouldn't stop. Now, Lamb looks like what became the template for the gray aliens. Bobby Hemmett taught that before extraterrestrials were actually called spirits first. They really made it big on the Flintstones. Barney and Betty were the first two people who in America, real people, who said they were abducted, and then they loosely based.
I remember that.
Right, they loosely based Barney and Betty. I'm sorry, Barney and Betty, based upon Barney and Betty in Fred. And remember, they had the alien. Hello, dum dum. You know what I'm saying? So they still kept that connection to the Great Kazoo. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point, I had niggas calling me the Great Kazoo. Man, shit was funny. Niggas is like Panic, the Great Kazoo. And Great Kazoo was trying, so they were putting it in the psyche, and they started using the gray that we see. Then all of a sudden, people started seeing them. That's how real your subconscious can make shit, or who knows? I don't know. I ain't never seen them. I'll just say that. But that grade 10 plate, nobody seen until Crowley drew a picture of a spirit called Lamb and said it was an aspect of Horus, which is just an aspect of the soul. Now, when I was with Shu, there used to be all these fucking little fucking babies around because we used to fucking make so many spirit babies, kicking them off. I remember I could lucidly see myself going to the bathroom, peeing, and little baby just looking at my dick like, oh shit, what's that? Get the fuck out of here. I remember seeing her grandfather. Described as your grandfather. That nigga used to dress like Mr. Peanut. That rosemary that be in your house, that nigga love that shit cooked with rosemary a lot. Now, so I remember getting up and going to the couch. This shit is clear as we're sitting here now, and seeing this little lamb. And it was real dirty. And I said, yo, do you need anything? I don't need nothing, motherfucker. Like, you nasty little baby. And left it alone. And it took me 3 days. I said, yo, that was lamb. And then me and Bobby did some work on it. So Lucid started by way of astral traveling. Astral Dynamics by Robert Bruce is probably the go-to book. Astral Dynamics by Robert Bruce, because it's more of a how-to workbook. So if you keep doing that, keep doing it, because what you're doing is really astral traveling is just a methodology for meditating yourself to sleep or bringing your awareness in the dream world with you. You have levels of consciousness. You ever notice sometimes you wake up and can't move? That's because you became that sleep paralysis. You became conscious before your spirit totally came. Remember, I said your spirit goes to the astral world when you're sleeping, and then it wakes. Then you're connected by that string. But then when you wake up, it wakes up on levels. So I knew how to wake myself up in the spirit world, and then no matter what situation, however deep I'm in, to gradually bring myself up without that discomfort. I used to see kids jumping on me. I'm like, hold the fuck up. Let me get the fuck up. Son of a bitch. And be waking up, shaking them like, oh, man, it was dreaming, but I'll wake myself up out of it. So all of that came from practicing astral traveling. Fellas, try to astral travel to the lady's house and, talk to the ladies. Try to say, I'm coming over tonight. Suck a little titty, feel a little butt. You know what I'm saying? What you got to do. And see how it works out. Try to get them to work with you on it. You know what I'm saying? See, like Khadijah, my eyes shaking her head, but nigga, please, you would wish a nigga suck a little titty and you don't get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Think about it for a second. Go crazy, son. You should take your pants off right now. Nobody gonna say no judgments. No judgments. No judgments. Just playing with you. You got to think free. This is not sex like you're meeting somebody at the club. You get what I'm saying? This has nothing to do with your human morality of, he's got to put a ring on it. Look at it this way. Everyone has a sexual side to them, but that side is not to be shown to everybody. But that sexual side does exist. Where does it go when you're not using it? Think about that for a second. You may ooh and ah in a certain way, and it only comes out when somebody brings it out, but it's still in you. So if energy doesn't die, it has to exist somewhere. Yes, it does. And remember, it's created for only one purpose. So when you're not using it, it's still somewhere ready for the it's not a person. It's not judging. It doesn't have a morality. You create, just like the person that would punch someone in the face, the person that would laugh is created for one thing: to laugh at happiness, to punch someone in the face when you feel threatened, and to have sex when you're having sex. The spiritualists can know how to catch you and meet with that in the astral world with your sexual side, and it ain't got nothing to do with your morale or your logic or your yes or your no. In fact, we do it all the time. Don't think every fella that ain't your family ain't looked at you and said, oh, goddamn, Either look at them lips, look at them titties, or whatever you got going on. It had a whole goddamn scenario up here. You're in a fantasy if you think that's not happening. And that energy that guys do naturally, if they could change that into a connection instead of just such a small, lustful level, understand that it's an energy that they're connecting to. And women could do the same thing. None of this has to do with morality. None of this has to do with bad or good. It has to do with energy and energy connected. Remember, sex is just a greeting. They tell you that right here. They said, if I had sex with this woman, I had sex with him, her, her, everyone she has sex with. It's a quantum connection. We are all one being. We are all one connection. So of course, guys visualize you sexually. We do that quicker than women. That's our visualization path. Women visualize much more stability to make connections. They need more physically, but not everyone. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes those women do that as a reaction to what guys did to them. Shadow shit. So they a hoe because guys treated them so bad. And some of them just a hoe because they came to Earth for the party. There's many different reasons. Spiritually,
Came to Earth to party. I like to party.
Yeah, I like to party.
Oh, man. That is funny.
I like to party.
I met some that just came to Earth to party.
I like to party. Let me tell you.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, I know it's hard, but we have to look at it from different perspectives. This is all happening in your mind. This has nothing to do with how your parents embarrassed you about sex. This is all in your mind. And if you're not free in your mind, then I question who you think you are.
They got a bunch of books by that person, Robert Bruce.
Bruce, yeah, he has a lot of
Deaf Family. I'm looking on Amazon, and I'm seeing at least 1, 2, 3, 4 books by Robert Bruce. Speaking of out-of-body travel techniques, so definitely look into it.
Yeah, he writes very simple. That's why I recommend him a lot for anybody start, especially that Astro Dynamics. That's the one. That's the starting out one, giving you ABC. He'll tell you things like when you go to sleep, your consciousness stays here on the planet because we fall asleep. But when you start to meditate your sleep, you're bringing your consciousness with you. So really, what I learned after all was said and done, I don't want to move my hand like this in the dream. Know why? Because I can move my hand like this right now and I'm in the dream. What I want to see is what my subconscious mind has to tell me uninterrupted with my logical trying to do this shit. And true lucid dreaming, you become an audience member and you retain more and understand more when you come out the dream. So astral dynamics will get you there, as well as that's why I talk about doing all of that shit too. But I don't waste my time doing all of that, showing myself that I'm aware in the dream. I want to lose myself in the dream, but become aware of it and retain the awareness when I come out.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to, that's stuff the movie Inception was made of, man. Going within dreams.
On the movie Inception at the time. That's one of my classics.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was all about. Still all about. Been teaching that kind of shit. Astral dynamics is the one that'll get you there. For guys, like I said, you to astral travel, you wanna start thinking sexually. We do it anyway. You go home and think about the girl who had on this or had on that, or what she wore to work today. All that shit. We're not kidding ourselves. And you're kidding yourselves if you think guys ain't doing that. And so you kind of want to keep that thing and make connections. It's better if you tell the person, you know what I'm saying? Or them, let's see if we can make a connection. And it doesn't always have to be sexual. You know what I'm saying? Just see what's up, with some of your buddies. And like I said, if a guy's in that position, knock yourself crazy. Women, you want to see, I can't, damn, Khadijah always tells me what to tell women to really do. I forgot. But you got to go on your whatever you feel comfortable. See the guy as that, even if he's not your whoever he is. See him as that, and see if you can make the connection. Whatever you got to do, and just start playing with it. See if you can make connections. Try it with your family members. If you're not a sexual being, try it with your family members, your nephews, and whoever's open to it, just to see if y'all can make a connection. Just keep trying to connect at night, and then talk about what you experience. Keep pushing and pushing and pushing. What astral traveling is not going to Egypt. Astral traveling, what I found out, the secret kick is taking your consciousness with you in the dream world. That's what's traveling. Most of us consciousness stays back in this world. When you take your consciousness with you, it's like you're sitting in a movie theater while this shit is going on. And the stuff you retain is good. You got to get some good symbols book. J.C. Cooper. Uncle Hank, see if you see a book by J.C. Cooper's Signs and Symbols or something. Barbara G. Walker, she has a symbol book.
J.C. Walker?
J.C. Cooper, his book on symbols. I mean, I could go get all that shit, but see if you see it real quick.
Yeah.
J.C. Cooper, J.C. Cooper.
Oh, yeah. Illustrated Encyclopedia of Traditional Symbols.
Excellent. That's probably the one to get. Illustrated Encyclopedia of Traditional Symbols by J.C. Cooper. Kind of like what's an elephant, what it means all around the world, different cultures, and then, but none of which supersedes what an elephant means to you. So if you had an experience with an elephant, like my sister at age 5, went to the zoo, an elephant spit on her while she was trying to feed it. She never recovered. Spit that snot. This is the zoo before they had habitats. This is when them niggas was in a cage just looking sad. So you could feed them at the Bronx Zoo. And, the elephant would take the peanuts out with the trunk, but it spit on her. So now, what if she's getting a new job? She has a job, and this is the example I used to give in class. She has a job, she's doing great. What if she gets a new job? And then she goes to sleep, asks herself, subconscious mind, you ain't got to do all of that. But she's asking herself in the dream work. That's why we're going to sleep on it to see what we say. And then she has a dream about elephants. That's a symbol that her subconscious mind is trying to tell her about this job, which has a bird's eye view. It can see past, present, and future. So should she take the job? Because she's going to think, well, what experience I have with elephants? Well, they spit on me. So if I go to this job, I'm going to get spit on. So most people in class says, no, she shouldn't take the job. Every once in a while, some people, maybe 2 people caught this over the years. She also has the option to take the job because now she has the ability, is telling her she's going to get resistance and may even be scared or spit on. But now, because she cowered with that elephant, she now has the opportunity to step up and challenge herself. Or she could say, fuck challenging myself. I got a good job and I don't want to. So in other words, the spirit doesn't define anything. It's just a higher form of thinking. So she still has a choice, but she knows to make a choice based upon information that her spirit has told her, besides the logic of statistics, which she may read too and factor in. But if she dreamt of an elephant and in her life she has a scenario with an elephant that was embarrassing, that's what her subconscious or spirit is trying to speak in its language. You may be embarrassed when you get to this job. So now she makes the choice, well, if I go to the job, I can do it and overcome that embarrassment like I didn't do when I was 6. Or she could say, why? I have a great job. I'm not getting embarrassed. Fuck that. So the choice is still yours. You still run this shit. Don't listen to the spirit as if it's Jesus talking. It's your higher self. And then after the spirit has spoken, because it may tell you stand on your lawn ass naked. Like, well, the spirit has spoken. I'll be sitting right on my lawn across from you going, well, when the spirit speaks. So you don't want to do that necessarily, but you factor in all of these things, and that's how it works.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm ready to wrap it up.
Go ahead.
I want a peanut butter sandwich and jelly before I go to sleep, and I'm not gonna eat
God
much. But
damn, that's serious right there.
yeah, man. I mean, I
That
want to thank.
makes, that makes me want to go to bed and go to sleep just because you eating that shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have that, man. I want to thank you, Autumn Scorpio. I want to
Yes.
thank you, Khadija Scorpio. I want to thank you, Sad Scorpio. I want to thank you, Cancerian Salika, and I want to thank our brother Panic being on the
Hey.
show tonight. This was really good. Just to bring it full circle. Tomorrow, brother Panic. I don't know if you heard this before. Having a brother Laji Elder coming on to talk about let me find the flyer, the 4 types of men and the 4 types of women. I think he wrote this book, and
Nice.
that's going to happen tomorrow. Where did I have it? I thought I had it. Anyway, this is the WhatsApp to go into the um WhatsApp chat, and for the comment about nobody uses WhatsApp, then you don't have to come because it's close to 1,000 folks from all over the world. If you like comedy, information, tantra, psychedelics, networking, your business products and services, this is the place to be. The only thing is, it's like about almost like, what is it, Khadija? Like 100 views a day. So, you might get caught out there, so you got to know when to put the phone down because it's a lot of comedy because our folks are colorful. Colorful. But I'm looking for the show. Yeah, I call them colorful. We
Yeah.
colorful.
Yeah.
This is Panics. Oh, here it is. This is tomorrow, 8 p.m. 4 types of men and women. Pick the wrong one. You'll have to create your own hell or heaven. Pick the right one. Oh, yeah, own hell or heaven. So this is going to be Brother Laji reading from his book. And I want to say thank you, Brother Panic, for what you was
Yes,
bringing
sir.
about out of body travel. Also, I want to give a special acknowledgement to someone who's inspired me to definitely keep the iron to the fire of out of body travel. Queen of Swords. She's always in the WhatsApp chat talking about fly, motherfuckers, fly. She's like a airline pilot in the out of body travel. And I see you, Agnes, Free Spirit, the poet. I want to thank you for being in the chat and all the contributions of the comments and all the audience that's listening now and in the future. I want to thank you. Thank you for this was an awesome presentation, bro.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Good.
Yeah. And ladies, I know you're ready to go to sleep. It's past your bedtime. Don't drink no water so you don't have to get up in the middle of the night. And let's close out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Peace. Next time.
Peace out, y'all. I mean, we're going to just close it like that.